reaching high for the dream, living life hide and seek, still describe what it means. Got my eyes on the prize for the keep, stay concerned, still amazed to learn if the way the tables turn, if the database to burn. On the run from these hired guns, step away from death, living check to check, yo, I'm living breath to breath, inspired from the opportunity to fight the silence. Some try to liven up, but entire months are tiresome, frantic, panic, my mind feels on fire, son. Outside they fire guns, peeling out tires spun, smelling burning rubber with a distinct reminder of exactly who it is I'm hiding from. Wonder if my time has come, curtains that I'm pulling back, exposing what you can't see, the silent life, activism mixed with vigilante, malice, focus bringing balance in the time of need, secret society, try to keep their eye on me while moving at a higher speed, watching if you fight or flee, show you how it feels when you take away our privacy, look in the mirror, you can blame the reflections, fall combinations, cracked open safes in the seventh fall. Dream driven by these hidden means flagrant. My motivation chasing unforgiven themes waiting. The sinister intent along fulfilling screens aching. Ready to inflict upon it still regimes taken. Anything and everything. Data stores are evergreen. Information rules so you better bring. Quick and thick as thieves. Pivot deeper when I sniff defeat. Every time it's trick or treat and feeding what the system eats. Distill a stream. Ciphers get the cricket clean. Citizens with nitroglycerine blowing up the scene. Brokers in the shadows always publishing the digits clean. Hearing all the chilling screams. Tearing down this plot machine faced with obligated ways made to intervene statements, racing at the pace that the river speaks, living with these individuals. I'm a guillotine, docs getting dumped in a rush on the WikiLeaks.
Breaking news today, the long-running hacker convention DEFCON has been canceled. We have breaking news today.
Okay, now that should work. I believe everyone can hear me now. I'm going to move the camera a little bit over more. There we go. Hello everyone out there, this is Side Pocket. I'm one of the two co-founders of DEFCON 201, and I forgot to remove our logo here because it's not the Master of Unlocking. Instead we're going to be holding a special. I just also want to note that if you hear like crazy grunts and stuff or see things off the side of the screen, no, we're not filming a gay porno. That is just one of our co-founders.
That's just like your opinion, man.
Working out. Well, it depends on how involved in the workout you actually get.
Fetish,
yes. So that's what's kind of going on there. So originally we were going to make the announcement that what do you call it? That Hack All and Commander, at least through the month of August, is going to be speaking of which, bi-weekly. And
both ways.
Exactly. And so he's going to skip out this week. Tomorrow should be Archvile Linus Perspective, ironically on the first thing of DEFCON, and then probably in the either late tonight or in the morning tomorrow, we're going to announce two things. One, we're going to have our DEFCON Safe Mode Guide, which is it's a ridiculously big content. We're probably still going to miss a couple of things, and if you notice things that are missing in that guide, please let us know. what instead, what do you call it? Instead, what we're going to, when we post that guide, that should pretty much almost have every single thing you would ever want to know about DEFCON Safe Mode and its surrounding stuff in one thing. We're going to look at bits of that in a moment. But, and then the second thing we're going to announce, if I remember correctly, is more details about what we're doing with the DEFCON Safe Mode, which I think there's actually a meeting going on for that, so I might hop on that in a moment, but I'm going to take care of you guys first. And what we're going to do on this stream is we're going to take a quick look at like what's going to go on Thursday through Sunday. And again, in chat, if you can't hear me or if I'm going too fast, let me know. And then we're going to air one of my favorite things that we normally do around this time for DEFCON 201 is we air the DEFCON documentary, which was filmed by Jason Scott during DEFCON 20. And I will be in and out of that documentary, just like I am with women. But I'm going to provide commentary when I can, and we're going to watch at least most of it. So that's most of the live stream. So, oh, and one last thing. You're probably wondering why I'm repping like a HushCon shirt, even though DEFCON Safe Mode's coming up, and I have a simple answer for that. I am personally broke. Also, I think it slipped G.I. Jack's mind of everything going on. So even though I think he has some dough, we all kind of, like, literally, I still keep thinking that DEFCON Safe Mode is next week, even though our meeting's next week. That's how much Ultimate Hacker Summer Camp has thrown us all off here. So, we don't have the badges yet, we don't have the shirts. Hopefully, they'll still be on sale after DEFCON Safe Mode, so that way we can gobble them up and hopefully show them off as being, oh wow, they put how many healers? 4 healers. So you have to get rid of them, or else you will never chip away his health. Ring Fit Adventure, everybody. But yeah, that's what, so I just want to let you know the reason why we're not wearing the official shirt is because, oh, also, funny story, so actually I'm going to get into that funny story, but what we're going to do right now is I'm going to do the best thing that I normally do, and I'm going to shrink myself here, so I'm going to go as one of the DEFCON co-founders died, and we're going to turn on this here. So, just as a note, this is our website at DEFCON 201. You can find us at defcon201.org. You can go to our website right there. It's the same one here. If you click on the news section, that brings us to our Medium blog, where we have all these guides. We have 4 guides so far. We did one for Hope, RightsCon, Black Hat, which went on today. And as Jack pointed out, they have really good content at Black Hat USA this year. And except for the briefings and like half the workshops, everything else is free. Like you were watching the Arsenals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was hearing him watching the Arsenals all day, and I'm gonna get back on some of those, and I'm gonna watch a bunch of them tomorrow. We might even, depending on how it goes, we might even stream some on air. But as you can see, when I click one of these guides here, and hopefully it will load in time because these documents, as I said, the Black Hat USA one is a 59-minute read. I think we're gonna break that record for DEFCON Safe Mode. But yeah, there's so much going on all month for Hacker Summer Camp that DEFCON Safe Mode will be part 5 of our guide. That's going to go up sometime tonight into the morning. Then we have 3 more guides before our own meeting happens. So, or in total, there's going to be 8 guides, and like that's why that and a thing about DEFCON Groups Village is what's driving me insane right now. So this year, DEFCON infamously got canceled. So the joke actually became real. Which is something I know N Commander kept bringing up multiple times. He's normally is now on N Commander, but we're going to do bi-weekly stuff for him for his sanity. And they decided to do this special DEFCON Safe Mode. They're not the first. They're the first, I think, major hacker one to completely virtualize. Because there was others that were just, well, we've never done a convention before. Let's just do an online one. But I think DEFCON was the first one, and then shortly later, Hope decided, hey, we're going to virtualize everything. And there's going to be a bunch of stuff here, so this is the main website, and one of the things that they just surprised everyone a couple hours for is if you go to the media server, a lot of the stuff's already live, so you can get the music. Some of them you just heard that song by Dual Core. That's a whole new song for DEFCON Safe Mode. That is all on there. And the demo labs, some of the talks, the badge audio, the CTF stuff, they've all pre-released it just to screw us over on this live stream here. But I want to mention that the main way you're going to interact here is you're going to join the DEFCON Discord. There's an official DEFCON Discord, which is where I am right now as other people try to contact me for DEFCON Safe Mode. And as you can see here, they have a bunch of code of conduct rules, and there's going to be different rules for different things. There's a whole LineCon section here. Oh, Tool already, I guess, had to talk. All right. If Tool's still on, we're going to raid their freaking channel because I believe we're following them. They have LiveCon over here, and basically all the talks and announcements and interaction we're going to be doing directly through the Discord. So that's the main way you're going to experience DEFCON this year. We're going to have all that info in our guides, so that's all this. Actually, this is new for me. I don't recognize the Human Plus button before. Let's see what other topics are going to happen this year. So, back content. There's a whole speakers list here, and there should be here's the schedule. There's going to be a ton of talks this year because they've really opened it up for everybody, such as attacking JavaScript nodes. Let's see here. Hacking traffic lights. That's definitely going to be on our guide list because I can't wait to see that. Let's see here. And this is just for tomorrow, these short talks. But usually they're doing the same things. It's the same 4 days that DEF CON normally is on, except everything's online. So Thursday is kind of like the preamble, introduction, DEF CON 101 stuff, and then Friday through Sunday is usually the meat of the convention. So then Friday has a welcome. Oh, let's see who potentially follows because we fixed the alerts. Thank you, Lutherkin, for following us. And hello there, it's Justine in... Oh, it's Justine. We follow you on DLive. I don't know if you're currently watching now, but and I just realized the video camera has decapitated me. There we go. That fixed that. But no, yeah. Hi, it's Justine. I know I follow your account on DLive, and we occasionally poke in and say hi and look at stuff. So thank you for poking in on this thing. We're just going over the DEF CON Safe Mode. It's a big hacker convention coming up here, so there's a whole talk about Spectra. Qualcomm computers, detecting fraud devices. There's a couple of, just like every year, there's a couple of black hat talks where if you couldn't afford the $1,000 to $4,000, which is actually cheap this year because usually the black hat badges are like in like the $10,000, $20,000 range. I wish I could tilt the camera over, but I want to save Jack's remaining dignity, whatever left, as he decides to give birth. So warning, the Joy-Cons are not accurate, so yeah, you'll notice. That's why I need to get new ones. So like the TSL hacks one is normally at Black Hat, but it will be free on here. So there's a couple of crossovers. I love this one. Don't be silly. It's only a light bulb. It's literally about IoT light bulbs, and I think that's absolutely hilarious and amazing. And apparently, yeah, all the media and YouTube stuff are already on a lot of these videos, so we could be watching them now, but I'd rather save that type of live streaming for tomorrow. I guess I'm going to binge these tonight. There's a fireside lounge here. Office Drama. The Office Drama on Mac OS is also a briefing at Black Hat. So instead of paying the $1,000 or so to see that, or the $4,000 I should say to see that, it's free on the DEF CON Safe Mode. They're going to do a postmortem for Stuxnet here. Let's see. Don't ruck us again. The exploit returns. Applied cash eviction through ATM exploitation. There's always, ever since, what's his face, there's always been ATM talks at DEF CON. For some reason, I can't remember the guy's name right now. He unfortunately died doing it. How we recovered $XXX in Bitcoin from an encrypted zip file. That's probably definitely going on there. Using peer-to-peer hack to hack 3 million cameras. Ain't no one got time for that. Bypassing biometric systems with 3D printing. That sounds really cool. Again, there's a ton for all 3 days. And, you know, that's only part of DEF CON here. Just like in real-life DEF CON, probably the biggest thing is the villages. So there's a crap ton of villages this year that are virtualized here. So we have the Aerospace Village, which debuted last year, is returning. And they have all the information. Again, all of this is going to be in our guides. The AI Village is back. I think it's the 3rd, 4th year in a row. Same thing, AppSec Village. Biohacking Village, which is run by Nina, which is one of my personal longtime acquaintances and friends. She used to show up at the NYC 2600 meetings, and now she bounces all over the place. Really awesome lady and amazing people running the Biohacking Village. I remember when the Biohacking Village really had to fight to be at like hacking conventions like Hope and DEF CON, and now they're like, just like with Tool and the maker spaces, now they're a staple. Blockchain Village, of course, is back. Blue Team Village is back, which I think means the Red Team Village might be not far behind. The Car Hacking Village is going on. Cloud Hacking's coming back. Crypto and Privacy Village, which is a long time stay. Data Duplication, I don't know how they're doing this year back. Ethics Village is back because, you know, in 2020 there's no such thing as ethics anymore. It's proven by the United States. Hacking at Sea, which debuted at the same time as the Aerospace Hacking Village, thus completing the air, sea, and land trio, is back. this year. The ham exams are back, along with the ham radio village, which I'm assuming is going to work very similar to the RF village that happened at Hope this year. Not by the same people, but I think it's going to work the same way. The hardware hacking village, again, I don't know how they're going to virtualize, but that's good. The ICS village this year. The IoT village, which is always a hoot. They actually had their own Discord channel and Twitch channel for a while, so, you know, good on them. Lockpick Village is coming back with Tool and everything. It's going to be chock full of talks. I'm not involved in that, but I told them if anyone needs to drop out, they'll do that. Monero, despite there being a blockchain village, Monero has their own stick-in village because, you know, they're the main darknet currency right now, which I'll get into a future episode of Crypto Barons, circa late September, I believe, on that. There's a new village this year. Here's the new villages. There's a career hacking village, which is basically like, you know, a business lounge or like the for hire village from B-Sides Las Vegas. And B-Sides Las Vegas is one of those areas and villages this year that got canceled because of COVID, because they figured because of how close-knit and in-person the community is, they were like, we'd rather just keep it safe way early on, and they just canceled it. There's the payment village, which deals with payment technologies. I guess that's where like ATM machines stuff are coming from. Let's see, Payment Village, history of payments, banking endpoints, bypass fraud detection mechanisms, and ultimately how to grab money. Then they also have their own workshops. Password Village, finally! I missed those. I guess some of the stuff that B-Sides Las Vegas has, like passwords and like careers and stuff, I guess is going to DEFCON this year. So now there's a Password Village. I can't wait to check that out. Unfortunately, a lot of these have their own Discords, and I'm basically going to have to rearrange my current Discord, or hell, I might even have to spin up a new username on Discord just to enter these. There's a Policy Village, which I think is neat. I don't know if that's new, but it sounds new to me. Who knows? Recon Village, of course, is back. Red Team, because Blue Team Village, Regcom. Rogues Village is back this year. Social Engineering Village, which is huge, may stay. I'm just excited because, again, I'm one of those people, and I'll explain, that could never make it to DEF CON, so it's just so fun. Just in the same way how I'm at Hope every year, but doing Hope virtually honestly was a godsend. And despite going crazy streaming every day, it couldn't hold the candle to the insanity that I'm usually at Hope. So being able to finally see DEF CON remotely is just awesome, and so I'm personally really excited, and I'll tell that story in a bit. The Voting Machine Village is back. I'm pretty sure Bia is like running this thing by now, and the Wireless Village, and I'm pretty sure there's a bunch that I might miss because I definitely know there's going to be parties this year. There's some version of virtual parties. There's also CTF. The main CTF will be going on, and we'll be able to monitor that. And I guess that will be some of our live content. There'll be a bunch of contests this year from all the different villages. I'm not going to go into all of them. Biohacking Hospital Under Siege has been got. The Blanket Fort Con is back. Car Hack, there's a lot of CTS, Car Hacking Village, CTS. The Command and Control Cyber Range is actually in here this year. That's new. They're usually at, like, I think Black Hat, so that's Night Corneroids. Has come back. The Darknet Contest, which is always a staple. The EFF is doing all their tech trivia stuff this year. I can't wait for that. Homebrew Hardware Contest. This is really like cool stuff. Again, when we do our guide, all this content will be there. There'll be a crap ton of demo labs. So again, if you go up to Black Hat USA, they have a whole arsenal. There's a version of the arsenal that is for DEF CON, and there's some crossover, just like with the talks, but they have a lot of unique stuff, so I can't wait to check that out. And then under entertainment, now, unfortunately, we were supposed to do a party this year. I don't know if we're going to do one later this month, but basically, thanks to a bunch of things personally on our end and like more things with COVID-19 and more of just job-related stuff with COVID-19, we unfortunately weren't be able to do it. We're still testing a lot of stuff that we originally wanted to do because we might be able to reuse some of the stuff in October and next year for our 4-year anniversary, such as making our own dedicated live stream that is spun by our own server as opposed to it being connected to something existing like Twitch or even DLive. So basically we can run independently on its own thing, uncensored content that any of the content providers wouldn't be able to do, because we're supposed to put some of my like sexy women friends on there, sexy men and women friends I should add, and non-binary and stuff friends on there. So it was going to be this whole thing, but unfortunately like that didn't happen. So I think most of this is like DJ stuff this year. Yeah, this is like their DJ list, and I know there's independent parties like Blanket Fort Con I know is back and things like that. You can also order swag and a badge. Again, this is stuff that I unfortunately can't afford. Like the t-shirts, they're glow in the dark and they're like $24. So I'm actually debating, and this is the badge this year, which is this awesome like cassette tape that you can get for $50. I may be greedy and decide to finally set up our like go buy us a cup of coffee, because we're starting to, even though we haven't 501c3'd ourselves yet, we finally kind of hit that limit on, like, you know, I know there's a lot of people on our stream been like, hey, you know, you guys are awesome. I love your shows. How can we, like, donate to you? Because, you know, we would love, for example, we've hit Twitch affiliate a while back, and we're really close to hitting, like, the establishment for Twitch partnership, but there's stuff in the contract that, because of the way we stream, we wouldn't be able to do. So that's why we haven't become an affiliate or a partnership yet. It would be very easy for us to just click yes on, but when we look through their whole, like, contract and stuff, it was just like, no way, unfortunately, unless they change one particular thing about it. So instead, we've been looking into independent stuff like buy us a cup of coffee and Cash App and things like that. So maybe this weekend that will debut, just because, you know, thanks to everything going on, we could really use you guys' support and help right now. But you know, that's something I'm still debating myself. But yeah, there's swag, and then of course there's the badge this year, and there's a whole badge contest as well that's around it. So that's basically DEFCON safe mode. I will go in and let's see. I just want to check some updates here. Yeah, everyone's asking the question. There was a question posted that says, "Tell us what your life was like before MySpace, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Mastodon, Snapchat. What did you do for fun?" I personally replied that, you know, I just basically Redbox payphones and argued on BBS/Usenet boards, which is technically like all the current social media. That's a lot of like their roots now, you know, or it's like telephone conferences and dialing into BBSs and later on dialing in the internet, to the proto-internet at the time, to reach these Usenet boards and things like that. So, and then later on came the different IMs, and then we unified under Trillion, and then everything got knocked out because everything is its own proprietary thing and is a mess. But yeah, I just wanted to poke around. So I think, let's see, GothCon, I definitely know. Oh, and someone just followed us. Let's see how fast I can race. Thank you, Cobra, on Twitch for following us. Thank you so much for that. I hope you like, because I don't know what times we're gonna stream. We're gonna work that out tonight after I eat and pass out and upload a bunch of stuff, and hopefully DEFCON groups won't yell at me too much. But yeah, we're gonna be streaming different content all weekend, so I hope you see it. So yeah, GothCon I know is definitely going on tonight. So let's see. Oh wow, there's already a Discord party, which is called "This Party is Canceled" going on. So we're not going to check that out. I don't think we're going to. Yeah, we're not going to. I don't think we're going to check that out on the stream, because again, I have to rearrange all the Discords because there's so many Discords I'm going to have to follow. This is absolutely ridiculous, and I'm already reached my max limits with the amount of Discords I follow. But I know GothCon's definitely going on. Sadly, there's 3 huge sections of DEFCON that unfortunately is not happening this year. It's hard. And those are QueerCon canceled early on, and there might be independent stuff that people are doing online, but it definitely got canceled. Then Roots Asylum, which is the kids' version of DEFCON, which I honestly thought they were going to definitely do something remote, and unfortunately they had to cancel. Unfortunately, they had to cancel that year because they couldn't figure out how to make it work. I thought they were going to do something, because I think doing like, and I think maybe the reason why they canceled is, you know, live streaming children over the internet, you're always going to run into problems with that. So I understand why, but I definitely thought they would have at least put like pre-recorded content so that like parents in the privacy of their own home could like air kind of like main DEFCON, like pre-recorded content, and that way they could avoid that issue. But I digress. You know, I'm not gonna cheese anyone for doing the wise decision of canceling early and just deciding to just pull everything to next year, which basically gives you an extra like half a year to 2/3 of a year to plan stuff. So that's really good. I don't know if there's any parties from Monero Village. Actually, here's a good question. And then the other one, which I knew immediately would get canceled, is Sky Talks, because there's no way in hell, and it would be a huge undertaking, and there's still too many security flaws, because the whole point of SkyCon is there's supposed to be no recordings and no traces. The people who show up for SkyCon, you don't know if they're going to show up there. There's no pictures, there's no anything. It's like OG DEFCON, and or like HushCon, basically. And so the issue with that is, like, as our co-founder tries to give birth here again, is, you know, well, you have to update NinjaOS repos somehow. And, actually, I wish I could record this and being like, this is basically trying to manage anything on the Arch Linux repo, like the
That's a good way to get your own
Arch
murder on cam as well.
Arch user repo in a nutshell. You know, just this one exercise. Don't worry, the camera is on the extreme end. I only see like bits of your elbow and stuff usually. So yeah, let's see here. Oh, awesome. So VetCon does have their own dedicated channel in their Discord. So that's definitely going on. Let's see what else, because I'm still looking through a lot of these, because every year usually the DEFCON core staff usually commends me for like finding every little single thing about DEFCON, and there's usually one new thing that flies under the radar that I don't notice every year because it's so freaking new. But yeah, I'm usually really good at finding stuff. So let's see, DEFCON. I think is it dinner? Yep, DinnerCon. I wouldn't be surprised if this is canceled or they never updated. I just wanted to see. Yeah, they canceled this year, so that's definitely canceled. I'm not going to load this up right now, but I know every year there's a kink gathering usually on FetLife for DEFCON for like kinksters. But yeah, this one's really hard to do. But yeah, it's like so I'm not going to load this up here because I don't want to dox myself and other people, but if that's there, I'll definitely update that. Speaking of which, one of the contests, let's see, DEFCON, no, Darknet, it should pop up, Darknet, DEFCON Darknet, going up, that contest. Yep, they've already updated stuff, so I'm just going to share this guy right now. What else off the top of my head? Again, QueerCon, I don't know if I mentioned it because that was I think that's the other third thing, so QueerCon. They definitely canceled some. There might be some LGBT people doing stuff independently. Yeah, it's like the War Story bunker, but still, it's like and the No Tech Talks. But yeah, it's like ooh, let's see. Well, I won't make it in time for DEFCON 28 Blade Predator Vapor Lock. I did just order parts for the prototype around the badge I intended to bring this year. Oh, so this is like the prototype QueerCon badge that never made it. And just assume that was a truck that went by.
Barking spiders, bathing season.
Yeah. So yeah, if you see me faint, it's because a really big truck just drove by.
Pollution,
See,
Jersey City.
what other things could be happening this year? I doubt this, but let's see. Bcrypt, and then we're gonna go on to the DEFCON documentary, in which I'm gonna leave a little bit for the beginning on, and then I will come back and I'm gonna do like commentary on it. So let's see. Too lazy to make a routine. I'm gonna share this and that, but yeah, she one time, 2 times she had like a tea party at DEFCON. So like, yeah, I don't know if she's gonna do something like this year or team up with some people, but yeah, we're gonna figure that out right now. So So I'm gonna. Oh, I already shared that reminder. What else? Let's see, because I'm trying to rack my brain. Oh, let's go to Tool, because remember they have the village, so they probably have already posted details on that. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, finally, Tool's gonna finally have a main YouTube channel. This is awesome. Like, that's it. One of my favorite things about Ultimate Hacker Summer Camp this year and everything being remote with COVID, it's truly the one good thing that came out of freaking COVID this year, like dead serious, is that there's just so much good online infrastructure now. Everyone had, including us, we had the whole gear. So I'm assuming and hoping that next year, when we meet in person, we're gonna still do a bunch of online stuff. I know that at least DEFCON 201 is, so I think this is awesome. Like, I have already ideas for what we could do with Hope, with like the Matrix chat and stuff like that. So like, that's, I think what's freaking awesome, is like now things are happening online of things that I wish would happen forever. So this is the schedule for the lockpicking village. Let's see. Key duplication, it's not just for movies. You're going to have a ton of intro to lockpicking. Wonder who's going to be running. It's just Tool. So yeah, if anyone drops out for the intro to lockpicking, I am totally down to do all of that, even in Tool's wide tone style. Doors camera, oh my. Dylan the Magician, wow, I can't believe he's showing up for this. High security wafer locks, an oxymoron, that might be an interesting thing. Law school for lockpickers. Bobby pins, we just did this with custom things. He says, when should you not pick your pockets? Answer never. Yeah, so bobby pins, paper clips. Watch, his stuff is actually going to work. because mine was just I misjudged the bobby pin sides. Like they worked, but they kind of barely worked. So watch, that one's gonna work. Should have high security locks and lock picks. Safe cracking for everyone. That's cool. Safe cracking is something I wanted to bring physically to DEFCON 201 later this year. Keystone to the Kingdom. How I defeat the Western Electric 30C. Neat. I'm glad nothing is getting a bunch of talks this year. That's really cool. So that's Tool. And let's see. Manual labor is tough. Yeah. So I'm trying to think of if there's one last thing we want to show up here. Anything off the top of my head from DEFCON itself? Oh, someone just followed us. Thank you, Romans6, for following us here. Luther Kin just wrote, will we be getting some documentaries? Yes, we are going to go in that in one moment here. I'm just trying to think of, is there any more things from DEFCON this year before we publish our super ginormous guide that we should like publish or follow? Because I'm trying to think off the top of my head, because I'm going to have to sit down and rethink of this stuff when we finish the guide, because I'm literally up to the party section, and that's where everything kind of gets scattered. Is there anything? Actually, quick question. Let's, I don't know. Wait a minute. Are they still active? There's a reason why I'm typing in boob or breast. Is there anything? No? So Badass Bowen. Let's, actually, let's type in just Badass. Because let's see if the Badass Army's doing anything. Let's see. Are they doing anything? Nothing, unfortunately, because I know last year they did a whole like breast cancer awareness meetup, and then they were promoting like sex worker stuff. I've always wanted to do as a village, and I've been wanting to pitch this to them in like a month or two. I've wanted to pitch to the Badass Army and a bunch of other groups of doing like essentially a DEFCON after dark, which is just a little village that just covers everything about hacking sex, whether it's, you know, biological, electrical, legal stuff, moral stuff. Like, I just think that would be a cool village. So I guess if not virtually this year, then next year. Let me quickly think. I think Conoroids has their own coin. I think that's how you write it. Roids, right? Or let me type in Roids. Yeah, actually, the last thing we should do, let's go to the big boss and just see if the Dark Tangent has said anything. The Dark Tangent. As you can see, he follows our group as well. We're not friends or even like business acquaintance, but I have dealt with Dark Tangent for you people, you suit and ties people at Black Hat, who apparently also think that Clark Kent and Superman are two separate people. Jeff Moss. I've interacted with him on the internet before for many, many years. And so, like, I think, you know, the type of communication we have between just DEFCON 2 and him alone, and also how much he truly reaches out there, is just really, really cool. Oh, DEFCON Safe Mode is currently, 3 hours ago, is at 9,502 members and 3,583 online at LineCon, so that's pretty sweet. Let's see. How many years here? Thought you'd be living in your cyberpunk future now. This part of me is the most very rapid reason. I'll share that. I'll share a little bit of Black Hat USA. Let's see. This week at DEFCON, ASO's GSI team leads the Capture the Flag competition. Cool. Again, we're going to be looking at all this. We're going to figure out what times we're going to be dedicated streaming, because, oh, that is one final thing I forgot about. Okay, so I'm just going to share one last thing from him. Two last things here. And then let's this. How am I forgetting this? Because I've been trying to deal with this all week, and I don't know if anything changed at the last minute, but here's what we're going to be doing here. So, DEFCON groups. So, months ago, because usually every year there's a panel about DEFCON groups. So, I didn't hear anything from internally at DEFCON groups or other DEFCON groups of being contacted for such a panel. So, I would like to say, like, 4 months ago, we made a tweet that I can't find right now. I'll probably bring up on a future live stream when we went, hey, DEFCON, and I tagged people and staff publicly on Twitter as Jack gives the middle finger to the RSA convention. But no, it's on Wings. But no, is that known as Dragos. But no, we were asking like, hey, is there going to be a panel this year? Is there anything going to be happening for DEF CON groups? Because now that we're all remote and a lot of the DEF CON groups we've done like online infrastructure. Oh, you finally unlocked that. You're gonna love that exercise. That we were like, is there anything that's happened? And then they were like, oh, we've been talking about it internally and we'll let everyone know. And then like a month and a half or so went by, or like 2 months, and we were like, we still haven't heard anything. So I just blank tagged like people I know who are in DEF CON groups and all the DEF CON groups I could find on Twitter, and we went, hey guys, I don't know if they're gonna do anything official, but like, even if it's unofficial, like we're not supported by DEF CON itself or even DEF CON groups, we should probably all do something, even if it's individually, for DEF CON safe mode, because we're all on the internet right now, thanks to COVID-19 and Trump's Gestapo, so let's do this. And basically, overnight, everyone else responded, and I got in, and unbeknownst to me, because I had to miss 2 of these Zoom meetings, they decided, hey, let's have our first ever virtual DEF CON groups village. And it's going to be nuts. We're still cobbling the details, including right now. It will be on the Discord. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using a platform called Allspace VR. You can either run it in Windows or run it through, what is it, Proton or Wine in Linux?
Steam. Proton on Steam.
Proton on Steam. You can run Allspace VR.
Through a native Linux client.
And through the native Linux client. And so you get on there, and now for guys who can't use Allspace VR, this will be streamed just like the other DEF CON conferences on the Discord. So this is for the groups have to pretty much log into Allspace VR, and you can also chill out with us. I also know at some point during the VR there's going to be a VR chill out party, which I actually have a quick pitch for if I can get back into discussion. So, which I'm going to try to do, because we're going to air the documentary. I'm going to go away for like 10 to 20 minutes, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to watch this entire documentary and do commentary. My job, which to be fair, limited amount of time and so much stuff got piled on for me. I've been honestly doing this kind of poorly, but even then it's been frustrating. Is my best skill is herding cats, and I've been trying to herd all the cats that are known as DEF CON groups together. And we got some responses, and I will say from the content that I've seen so far, I think people are going to like the content that we have, no matter how big or small it is. And again, we're going to be hanging out in VR. It's going to be really fun, especially the chill out after party thing that I think might happen Saturday night, unless we've already moved that. But yeah, no, so that's why I'm sharing this, because I am really excited about all of this. And yep, and those are the mods in Allspace VR for the virtual village. Look at all these handsome neckbeard MFers. And oh, let's see, is he? Oh, why are we not following him? I'm going to follow him now. And yeah, so that's the last thing that's on there, and this is so last minute that I would not be surprised, because I don't think I saw it. It's probably not on the DEF CON safe mode itself, but the idea is hopefully, like, this is just us testing to see if this works, and then next year we would love to do like this in person in addition to having a bunch online, because we want to represent as many DEF CON groups as possible, and we're already going to be representing a bunch around the world and stuff. So I have to go to see if that meeting is still on. Regardless, I have to pop into our super secret Discord that we're using for planning here. So, hi, Primo Rasty. So, here's what I'm going to do. And this is something I forgot to pre-set up on OBS, but I'm going to run it, and we're going to just see how this works. So, again, a couple of years ago, so let's see. We are on, this would have been, if I remember correctly, this would have been DEF CON 28 this year. And DEF CON 28 this year. And then it got canceled. So like the physical part. DEF CON is still happening, and basically it's its own sub-thing called DEF CON Safe Mode, and DEF CON China's the one that got canceled. They delayed it, and then they had to cancel it again, so there's no DEF CON China this year, so sad pants for China right now. I'm sure Winnie the Pooh feels really sad, but, unfortunately, he gets the laugh because we're stuck with the annoying orange who can't even interview himself. So, I don't want to know how he does or does not masturbate, because that also must be a disaster. No wonder why he has literal handlers. So,
what's it called? He's everything China could have wanted in propaganda value. He is basically the caricature of everything wrong with this country.
Yeah, no, it's the same way how I said back in the day, like, the best way to advertise the Windows was to talk to, like, the heads of the Linux community, because that's how bad it was. It's way better now. I'm really happy, actually, for the most part now.
And the quality's improved, too.
Yeah.
And I actually think it goes hand in hand.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think once the morale came in, like, the morale boosted up, because we had, like, people that wouldn't just, like, shit on people for one pixel, like, and would actually do things that would actually fix stuff. So did the code base got better over time. But anyhow, enough back in the day, old fogies like ranting. So back during DEFCON 20, so that is eight years ago, Jason Scott, who you probably saw a lot on the Hope 2020 stuff because he was doing the Hackers Got Talent and he was on Radio Statler all the time. He does documentaries. He's done 2 of my favorite documentaries so far. He's done one on BBS's, and he also did one which I have the physical DVD for. I'll have to bring it out later. Maybe I'll try to dig for it, which is called Get Lamp, which is about text adventures from back in the day, because I used to play a lot of those when I was younger. I was a big console, PC, board game, and card game player, just like, because thanks to hipsters, I'm also a console, PC, board game, and now mobile player and cards when I can afford them. So he did he did one more documentary that a lot of people know about, which is he did one for DEFCON, and it's based on DEFCON 20. And this will be an interesting test of some of the censors on here. So if one of our streams on Twitch, YouTube, or DLive goes offline, that's why. But it's on YouTube for free, and it's on a completely open license. So I don't see why we would get shot down for stuff. But basically, I'm going to display the documentary here. So if you haven't seen the documentary, we're going to run through the documentary. And as I said, is going to be really busy, so I'm going to go run off for about 10 to 20 minutes, do a bunch of business stuff behind the scenes for DEFCON groups, and hopefully I haven't gotten like shit canned or whatever. And then I'm going to come back, so after like the first 20 minutes or so, and I'm going to watch the rest of this documentary with you and then do some commentaries. So I'm going to take the camera away and I'm going to bring up the video of this. So enjoy Jason Scott's documentary. I will see you guys in a moment. And even while I'm away, if you have any questions about past DEFCONs or the current DEFCON safe mode or what we're doing as DC21, anything about DEFCON groups that we're doing, any questions about hacking or why my shirt is this, or why is one of us, why are we so handsome, you know, do you want to date us, just, well, maybe not that, maybe that, it depends on the price, but still, ask questions in the chat, because it's okay to lurk. In fact, that's the whole thing. We want you to watch this documentary, but we also like interactive with people. And again, if you like this content and you want to know about the DEFCON content all week live, especially live streaming some stuff that you might not have access to for some things, you can go to our website, defcon21.org, and on our current streams on Twitch TV, YouTube, or DLive, you can hit the bell button or like, follow, or subscribe to our stuff. So without further ado, you're going to see me kind of build the documentary because I forgot to pre-build it. And yeah. We'll be back, and I'll be doing some commentary on like some of the people I know and recognize in the documentary, and tell you funny stories and stuff. So take it away, DEFCON 20 documentary. A nice highlight for a current low from DEFCON 20, looking back from 2020, because hindsight is 2020 and kicks us in the nuts.
You gotta do it a bit deeper.
What the fuck, dude?
The history. I had been running the dark tangent system. That was the name of my bulletin board systems. The bulletin board was known around the world. We were on international FIDO networks. And in one of those networks, called PlatinumNet out of Canada, was going away. He was shutting it down. I was the biggest node. I had the most users, and I distributed to the United States. And he wanted to throw a party, going away party, for all of his PlatinumNet users. But he didn't want to do it in Canada, and all of his users were in the States. And so we were talking. He says, like, well, you should do it. We should work together. And I said, great, let's do it in Vegas. And that makes the most sense, cheap airfare. And he said, sounds good. And I mean, this happened over the course of less than a week. It was really brief. And then all of a sudden, he disappeared, PlatinumNet went down, and all these years, 20 years later, I've never heard from the guy again. I can't even remember his name, it's been so long. So when that disappeared, I had already started planning to do this going away party for PlatinumNet. So instead, I invited all my networks, and it went from being a going away party to a party. There was like HoHoCon, there was an XCon, there was a PumpCon, SummerCon, but there was no real West Coast con. So we figured, okay. So it ended up being DEFCON.
You know, the first one, there was a flyer that went out, and that kind of circulated around on some of the sites, and I think that's how I came across it initially.
I'm assuming it was because of a book I wrote, or maybe my congressional testimony, I don't know. But somehow he had contacted me to come out and speak.
I actually didn't want to go to the first DEFCON. I did not want to go to the first DEFCON. A number of my friends were going. They were trying to get me to go. They kept telling me it was going to be fun, and I kept thinking to myself, I'd never been to Las Vegas before. And, you know, I used to go to BBS user meets, and, well, a lot of them were pretty lame. And I thought to myself, okay, this is just going to be a BBS user meet in Vegas.
Contacted me somehow, said, you want to come out to Vegas? I said, I don't like Vegas. Come out and speak, and there's a bunch of people, Phil Zimmerman and a couple other folks, and DEFCON 1.
And I had a blast. I had so much fun.
It felt we were part of something that was really kind of legitimized because there was this event around it. You know, it wasn't just, you know, random people that you might have known or heard, or it wasn't, you know, somebody on the, you know, in the phone freak world, it wasn't somebody on the end of a toll-free loop around that, you know, you called at midnight and, hey, who's there, you know.
So I ended up meeting a lot of people, some of whom I'm still friends with to this day, out of all of that.
And I remember after the first DEFCON was over, and I was back home and I was decompressing, and somebody wrote me on UUCP in my email, wrote me an email and said, hey, that was great. When are you doing it again? And until I'd gotten that email, I'd never thought of doing it again. And then I thought, you know, I could probably make this better. I could change this, and then that started it. That was all game over from there. It was every year, what can I make better? What went wrong? How do I fix it? And that geek sort of fix it mentality kicks in, and you're always trying to improve it. So it's sort of like this challenge you'll never solve, but you keep wanting to make it better.
If people missed a few years, their differences between their experiences is going to be pretty radically different. DEFCON 1 was around 100 people, and we expect roughly 15,000 for DEFCON 20.
We work nonstop. I haven't seen 4th of July in like 7 years.
It's crazy that DEFCON, as you can label it as a hobby, takes so much time because it seems like pretty much from the moment DEFCON ends until the time that we're spinning it up again, we're busy.
You know, technically I retired 2 years ago, but I can't give it up because it's such a part of me. I'm giving back to the same culture that spawned me.
DEFCON for the last 10 years especially has been a very big part of my life. It consumes most of my free time. DEFCON starts for me the day after DEFCON is over for the next year.
It's going to be amazing. We have so many surprises planned for the attendees. It's going to be remarkable. This is going to be a really, really special year. If you're sleeping, you're doing it wrong.
A lot of people who are hardcore DEFCON attendees or staff, they negotiate when they change jobs. That's fine, everything's good, but I need to take, 2 weeks off. I never thought that my party would be a job employment prerequisite.
I am not kidding. I am expecting another well-orchestrated, well-oiled machine coming together and producing this amazing gathering of geeks. No kidding. It's what we do. We come together and we do the hell out of it. And I expect it to happen this year.
There's absolutely a difference in between driving and flying.
When Utah Group, for example, used to go down to DEFCON years and years and years ago, there was a whole process where basically we gathered at this restaurant called D's, or like we called it Freaky D's, at like 2 a.m. And basically, 20, 30 of us pile into the restaurant, and we'd have our caravan of cars all set together, and that was just our group of people.
There are some hijinks that I can't even imagine mentioning on a documentary that that can happen on a long 9-hour drive from the Denver area to Las Vegas.
When you're driving, you to get there, especially from the West Coast, you have to drive through the middle of fucking nowhere.
And it certainly adds to the experience when you roll in and it's just after sunrise or it's just about sunset, or you really have no idea what time it is, and there's Sin City, and of course you're playing Viva Las Vegas by the Dead Kennedys or something like that, and it does add to the experience, I think.
Great job. Actually, here comes the hack bus now, which is pretty awesome. Yeah,
It kind of blows my mind that everyone's so excited about going to a barbecue 6 miles away from the con that they have to rent a taxi for or go to the grocery store and get food for. I don't know, I just feel like the barbecue is this misfit love child of DEFCON, because everyone's like, hey, there's this thing that happens over there and they're grilling alligator and elk and all this crazy meat, and why can't we ever go? Where is it? And that kind of adds to the mystery and the fun of it. Man, did I never expect that to become something that's like 1,000 people strong now. To me, that shows like an awesome community spirit and effort of, hey, I want to see my friends and I want to hang out with them and I want to, just do something simple, like let's eat some food. It's not at the con. There's no crazy music. It's just a barbecue.
Ever since I was in town around DEFCON 10, 11, you see those signs in the airport, come shoot a machine gun, which, it's fine for me. I've done, but a lot of my friends said, man, I'd love to do that. I said, let's just go out in the desert. I'm sure we can find a nice group rate, and we'll shoot out in a sand pit. And everyone had a blast. And they said, boy, are you going to do this? Was great. You're going to do this again? So now there's just this well-known public shooting spot way out on the Lovell Canyon Road outside of the city where anyone can go, anyone can shoot what they want as long as they police up the area, and we use it. And it's again, much like DEFCON itself. You keep getting popular and growing. Now we have canopies and tables rented that I arrange. There's a small per head fee just to cover that. We had 100 people on the line last year. We've got damn near that many registered this year. We're gonna stay safe and see what we can make happen. Can everyone hear me over the reports over the berm?
Yes.
All right. All firearms are always what?
Loaded.
They are always loaded. Nothing is ever an unloaded firearm. You always point the firearm where?
Safe direction.
In a safe direction. Yes, the key point, not just being your target, but what is beyond it. The hacker community, you can never put a single hat on anybody, but there's a libertarian undercurrent to a lot of our membership. So being able to just treat guns as, well, that's this piece of equipment. If you use it the right way, it's great. It percolates through most minds. So you get the occasional raised eyebrow, but half the time that's the person who's like, I'm gonna go see exactly what you think is so fun. And they're out there shooting a cannon or an automatic rifle, and they say, boy, I get this.
Come on in.
I think it was the year when I was at the Aladdin, and we'd forgotten to sort of clean up our room, or we didn't think that the maid was going to show up as early as they did. And, we'd gone off to breakfast, and we came back, and the maid had been in the room and cleaned the room and organized all of the drugs. So there's like a little pile of acid and a little pile of ecstasy and some other pills. And they're all nice, neat little piles. I was like, huh, well, I guess things are different in Las Vegas.
You've got to put the convention in a 24-hour city. It's got to be like a New York or a Vegas or maybe a San Francisco, because hackers get bored and there's got to be something for them to do. And I saw what happened when there's a lot of bored hackers running around.
A lot of activities in the computer underground would happen after midnight. That's just the way it is. So, the fact that people can move around and not be noticed as much, being a group moving around at midnight, that kind of added to the appeal.
And I'm big on privacy. Nevada still respects people's personal privacy. Your hotel room is considered your domicile.
It sounded fun. Just a bunch of computer people, right? I mean, it just seemed like my group was in Vegas, and it sounded like a really, really fun time. So, the whole underworld connotation of it all was very attractive to me.
So I feel like there's going to be a streamline of people really dedicated. We're going to be first in line. We're going to be first in line.
I want to make sure I get a badge. That was my biggest concern. It's my first DEFCON, and I want to make sure I walk away with a badge.
We're all DEFCON virgins. We gotta pop that DEFCON cherry and get those badges. And how many hours do you have to go before you get your badge?
I think it's 9 hours now.
Right there in the morning. Well, in the morning, nothing's really going on until DEFCON 101's on.
Came out to $20.
Okay. So, you got $20 plus $20 stuff for you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Sure. Yes, we drink. Good. What are we drinking? Stop recording, please.
We got pizza. Pizza is good. Pizza's good.
Alright. Jet lag is sunk in. Looks like he's using a pizza box for a pillow. We will not abandon our posts.
This is my first DEFCON badge.
Now, what made you decide you were going to come to DEFCON?
My husband's work decided to send him, and I started going through all of the videos that they had for DEFCON 19. And I started looking at that and going, ooh, this is really cool.
20th DEFCON. Been wanting to do it for years, and it was just one of those things that just sort of lined up. All the moons lined up perfectly.
Definitely heard a lot about the con. It's somewhat affordable con, and there's lots of technical discussions.
whole bunch of really smart people that probably know more than I do, most of them. So I hope to learn something.
You know, the opportunity to hang out with those people that really know what's going on was, you know, too enticing to miss out on.
And I thought this would be an amazing place to just meet really intelligent people. So now I'm here and I'm really excited.
To meet a lot of interesting people and learn a lot, have a lot of fun at once. It's kind of, you know, a big congregation where people that pretty much live anonymously online get to actually socialize in person and kind of not have to worry about as much, you know, revealing their identity.
Well, I've read all kinds of dire warnings about using anything here that's potentially hackable, and nearly anything's hackable, so.
I was told to take the battery out of my phone. Just
You know, I've got a checklist sort of in my mind. You know, kilt, colored hair. Drinking before 10 a.m. I haven't seen quite just yet.
Every single device in the world has some kind of computer in it, and they all have vulnerabilities in one way or another, and this is an information of what those vulnerabilities could be and how to fix them and make them better and improve it for the future.
Are you the teacher?
Yes.
You are the teacher. And this is your first DEF CON?
Yes.
And you thought to take a pack of neophyte students into Las Vegas to go to a hacking conference?
Yes.
Yes. Do you have tenure?
Rule number 1, follow the 3-2-1 rule daily. And please bear in mind these are minimums. At a minimum, 3 hours of sleep, 2 meals, 1 shower. By tomorrow afternoon, the pungent and stank aroma of many DEF CON attendees will waft through the air and hit you like a Mack truck. So remember, you plus deodorant equals everybody wins. I, like many people here, will not remember your real name. There are lots of Steves, Jeffs, Chris's, and Bills, but only one, maybe two with your unique handle. Hopefully you've picked a good and unique handle to avoid conflicts in the namespace. Create a good handle for yourself before someone creates it for you.
So I've got questions. Who here is from other countries? Wow. That's impressive. Thank you for coming all the way to join us, you guys. That's awesome that you came out. DEF CON is truly an event and a conference where you get out what you put into it. DEF CON is the one time a year where everything that we do year-round actually becomes physical. All these people that you've met in IRC, all these people you've been chatting to, all these people you've been reading their research, following their work, looking at the different things they're publishing, they're here. Walk up to them, tell them that you like their work, buy them a beer. They'll probably be your best friend. It's one of the biggest things about this crowd you've got to really swallow is the fact we are all super, super approachable.
You can be a wallflower here and still get a lot out of it, but you're not going to get your $200 worth, frankly. You're going to have to interact, work with people, get to know people, go party with people.
If you don't know something, be proud of that. Be like, I don't know this. Can you please teach me? Can you please educate me and train me? This crowd loves spinning people up. Take the time to go in and learn from these people. They're geniuses, truly geniuses, and some of the best in the world in whatever it is that they're presenting or working with. So take advantage of it, you guys, okay?
All right, the next rule is one that basically says, the media is not your friend. Don't trust them.
What do you think is the number one thing people misunderstand when they show up to DEF CON?
That it's a den of illegal activity, and you're going to come learn how to do really neat, illegal black hat. Going to get in trouble if the FBI shows up at your door, and you should show up with your ski mask on just so no one can know your identity. Yeah.
What is it actually then?
It's a publicly funded private party for a bunch of really cool people.
Yeah, our reputation is, it's out there, but people are proud of it, and I'm probably the only one who tries to go around and go, yeah, it wasn't quite like that. It's sort of like this. I don't think people understand how much goes in to creating a show of this size.
DEFCON looks like this big amorphous jellyfish of people everywhere, but what I hadn't realized is that there's really a lot of stuff that goes on the back end to keep it running like clockwork.
That's what makes DEFCON so exciting. It's super organic is the way I see it. If you're inflexible, it doesn't work with DEFCON because there's too many people and you'll just break, and that's just the reality of it.
I always joke that for me, it's an opportunity to spend 4 days out of the year not caring about computers or computer security.
Everybody's Christmas, New Year's, birthday, anniversary wrapped up into one for hackers.
It's an experience that's not like anything that anybody has described because it's kind of something you can make what you want out of it.
Like, you can show up and you can just go to talks and you can sit there and get that out of the conference. Or you can show up and just party. You can show up and hang out in your hotel room with a bunch of friends. When it comes down to it, like, you're the driver of the experience. It's not a pony show where you can just, sit down in a seat and let it unfold before you. The more active you become inside the con, the more fun you can have.
For me, I think it's more social.
Mainly for me, it's just a lot of close friends that I get to meet once a year because of the diversity of where they all live in the United States. So this is kind of like a meeting point.
Go out there, be social, just run into people and say hi, and just strike up conversation because you will meet interesting people here.
It's fantastic. Everybody's friendly. I can sit down, talk to anybody, and I just ask them, what do you do? And they're happy to tell me about what kind of employment they do or the hobbies that they're in, and just striking up conversations. That's my personal favorite.
It's a combination of the people who I run into at DEF CON and just sort of the atmosphere. It's like a giant party that doesn't want to end, but there's a lot of really smart people in one place, and it's just, there's really no other place like it.
The first qualification, if you will, to be a vendor at DEF CON is how are you providing back to the hacker community at large? A lot of money goes through there. It's kind of staggering. One thing that we try and do is most of these guys, most of the vendors, if you walk around that room, this isn't their primary business. These are people that are in the community. You'll take a look at these guys. They're only doing this time of year, and it's only to provide something to the community that they think is neat. Those kind of folks definitely get a priority when I'm looking through applications.
Hey everyone, we're still in the meeting, so we need a bit more time. But thank you, 14 whatever. Sorry, we missed your thing. Thank you for following us, and just give us a bit more time, and we'll be back with live commentary. I already saw Dual Core, who's a neat friend of mine, so stay tuned for more commentary. Oh, and thank you, Swarson Rose, for the follow. And yeah, No Starts Press is absolutely amazing, I will say. They literally, they're like super part of the community, because as he's going to say here about like dollars, that's like their philosophy. They'd rather get the information out, and if they make money along the way, then that's that for them. So yeah, continue to enjoy. We'll be back soon.
And if I put a smile on the face, it's like, wow, really? That's a great price, and I get that too? Yeah, that's good. I don't need every last dollar. You know, what are you going to do with dollars anyway? They're just numbers.
Our main job actually is to create mayhem. That's actually what we've been asked by the management, make sure that we create a lot of mayhem. We actually have official DEFCON 8 posters from years ago that we found. So we're not selling them, we're giving them away, but you have to convince us to give you one. And that requires mayhem in the dealer's room of some sort that we don't officially support, but for some reason they end up with a poster. Who knew, right?
We are simplewifi.com. We are long-range wireless made easy. We custom make all of our antennas in Miami, Florida. So if you want to go creating a hotspot and turning around your whole neighborhood, or you have that guy with unfortunately has an open signal, you don't want to pay for Wi-Fi, you can send your antenna pointing right at it, grab that signal, and you have internet for free.
The people that want something one year that you didn't bring invariably won't want it next year. It's like, you know, everyone wanted network cables, or everyone wanted PIN card readers, or prox card readers, or magstripe reader encoder decoders. You know, it varies every year. And then, you know, everyone that like leaves something behind, like, we need a hub. And it's like, okay.
I only have 53 tables total that could be sold. Some vendors are getting 2, some vendors are getting 3. So you have to decide what's going to actually provide the most benefit to the attendees. What are they actually going to want to buy? And we certainly have made mistakes in the past. For one thing, I mean, we shouldn't have even called it the vendor area. There were a couple of years, and I can't blame anybody but myself for this, where it should have been called the buy your t-shirts room. The only thing that was for sale in there was t-shirts. You know, you had like 2 hardware vendors and 33 t-shirt vendors. Hackers love their t-shirts. I think, I mean, in a weird way, it's like a way to kind of express your identity. I think we all do that through our shirts. It's a way when you're walking down the hall at DEF CON or any other conference, or at work or wherever, for people to kind of get an idea of who you are. So yeah, I mean, the t-shirt aspect of it is certainly important.
But this is one place where I can wear all my t-shirts.
And people will know what it is.
Yeah, people get it.
There's something about that, like, cinematic hacker that's both goofy and inspiring, and like, I still play up, there's this mystery around it, oh, spooky hackers, and there's like this dark side to it, and I think I still play that up in the art, that I'm still intrigued, I still don't know all of what's going on, like, I'm a maker, I'm not a hacker.
So I was a goon the first year, and they stuck me in the info booth, and then about halfway through the first day, Russ came over first and said, hey, I want you to draw on my badge. We had great big badges that year that Joe Grand did. And so I drew on it, and then Pyro came over and said, hey, draw on my badge. And then in like 10 minutes, there was this line out the door of people like, draw on my badge. And so Russ came up with the idea, well, if you're gonna draw on the badge, why don't you make them give $5 to EFF for every badge you draw on? And raising money, so like laptop, I'd charge $20 for EFF, and then it ended up with a pile of money for EFF like the first year. And so then the second year they said, you're not going to be in the info booth, you're going to have a booth and sell art and draw on things for people to raise money for EFF, and that's how that took off. So.
You have to believe in what you're doing, and you have to believe that whatever you have is the hottest, coolest, newest, best thing. And that if you have any shred of doubt about what you're presenting, or if your heart's not 100% into it, the audience is going to pick up on that right away and tune out. That's the thing. I think the BS filter here at DEF CON is very, very strong.
I think the talks and the speeches are absolutely important because it gives the world an opportunity for a very inexpensive price to be able to go learn from the absolute best in the world in this industry about the absolute bleeding cutting edge of technology.
It was between 300 and 400 submissions that came in for people that wanted to speak at DEF CON this year. Yeah, it was a rough year just because of the number of quality submissions. And there were some that any other year absolutely would have been accepted. But I think because this is the 20th DEF CON, and it's because people want to be a part of DEF CON 20, we got so many more submissions and so many more quality submissions.
I mean, DEF CON speakers are all different types, especially this year. You have, you have generals and you have 15-year-old kids, all of whom have something different to contribute. There's no really one thing that you can say that unites a DEF CON speaker except for their desire to present their ideas to an audience.
And we've got a really cool VIP this year. Yep. Really cool. They better show up.
The big celebrity speaker VIP for this year at DEF CON, the director of the NSA and director of Cyber Command, General Alexander, we've been trying to get somebody from the NSA high level to speak for 10 years. And it just so happens that we finally get somebody, and it just happens to be our 20th year anniversary. So the timing just works out really well. And I know people are going to get all bent and not over it. It's going to be like the love-hate relationship. They're also going to really be interested in what he has to say, and at the same time be really fearful of the NSA.
It's a milestone to see someone of his position and level come here and speak about security and hackers and those types of things.
Jeff Moss made a valid call, and he kind of said, look, we have to interact with these people, We have the technical skills, and they're the ones calling the shots, so we've got to interact with them, and at the end of the day, we've got to educate them,
Hello, DEFCON! Something I try to do with DEFCON is I want to expose you guys from the very first DEFCON to people you don't normally see. Like, I'm sure you guys just don't hang out and have coffee with the general, and neither do I. So to me, it's really eye-opening to understand, the world from their view.
Having the NSA here was a great unveiling of the support and I think a little bit of appreciation by the government towards our community now, and a little bit more understanding of the work we do and the actual end goals that we're trying to accomplish here.
So thanks. Honor to be here. It's an honor and a privilege to be here. One of the things I want to talk about is the freedom domain, the internet, and what we can all do to work on this. And so I've got about 6 hours of presentation and slides that we'll cut down to some meaningful time for you.
I think it's amazing, and DT wouldn't believe you if you could go back in time and tell him 20 years from now you're going to have an NSA general here talking to the group sort of as an ally.
Seeing people like General Alexander come down and meet with us hackers, it's just amazing. I've been in the hacking scene for over 25 years now, and I remember the days when we were just considered criminals that no one wanted to integrate with. They didn't understand how a hacking ethos could be applied to things that weren't illegal. And now, this completely legitimizes what we're doing. People want to see what we're doing, they want to hear about what we're doing, and they're realizing that we have a role to play in keeping the world's infrastructure safe and keeping the government safe. That's awesome.
And there's a lot of things that are going on here. We can sit on the sidelines and let others who don't understand this space tell us what they're going to do, or we can help by educating and informing them on the best strategy forward that benefits all of us and our nation. And that's the real reason that I came here. solicit your support.
But on the other side, we also have super privacy advocates. You know, the EFF is going to be right there next to them, and they're probably in a constant lawsuit with the NSA. You know, so try to represent both sides.
I mean, they're the ones that have been out there and helping when people try and do crazy laws that you know, they don't really understand the implications of. You know, the EFF will step up and try and, you know, right the ship and make things good for everyone, and we like to support them.
And what I'm trying to do when I have these speakers is I'm trying to expose the audience to people they wouldn't normally come in contact with. It's not just always fun and games hacking a system. There's a bigger world out there, and you're playing a part in it, and a very important part. And if I didn't, I kind of think I'd be doing a disservice. It would be sort of like intentionally, I don't know, not aiming as high. So if you don't like that speaker, don't go to that talk.
And I think when you bring in not only our great talent here, but those of our allies, I think that's absolutely superb.
All right, that brings this session to a close, so let's have a round of applause for General Alexander.
I think that contests and events is very key because it's one of the things that you find if you go to a lot of different conferences, especially in the security arena, it's very boring. Usually you're sitting around at a bar getting really, really drunk with a bunch of friends and going to a couple talks that you're interested in seeing, but overall it's a lot of looking for something to do. We've just grown to where now I believe that I'm managing about 50 events and contests throughout DEFCON 20.
What's going on? Not much, just cutting some mohawks. It just started out as shenanigans with like drunk people in bathrooms at DEFCON. But people started giving us money. I started telling them to donate to the EFF, and so people told me that I should make it official because it became tradition. Last year we raised about $4 grand total for EFF, Hackers for Charity, and other hacker spaces around the country.
I've been growing my hair out for 2 years. It was difficult for the girl because she's about this tall, and she had to stand up on a chair to actually finish it all.
This year we have a goal because last year he shook on it. DT will be getting a mohawk this year if he likes it or not.
I've been playing Hack Fortress, which is an amazing competition. It's one of the highlights at DEF CON for me. Essentially, we have a team of 6 game players who play Team Fortress, really how it was meant to be played, you know, medic, heavy, and they try and capture points. We as the hacking team, essentially, we're doing hacking challenges, cryptography, forensics, physical challenges, social engineering, information gathering, and that gives our team benefits. So it light the other team on fire. It might make everything our team shoots a critical hit. So it's this really cool combination of both gaming and hacking, which, you know, is awesome.
Now you've got an objective here. You've got a 3-person team, and you have to infiltrate this office, steal a lot of information, and get back out again in 15 minutes.
But it's a penetration and data exfiltration job. So team-based people will penetrate into a virtual office, and we're framing out the walls and everything. You'll have to pick in. Once you're in, a team of people then can try to get documents, which you don't just, unlock a lock. You have to spread them out, legibly photograph them, put them back where you found them. I think we're including now, there's a smartphone, like an Android phone, so you have to hold it up just right, and maybe you see the pattern, you swipe it out, and you get some contacts. So I have this computer running Windows 3.1. So I'm watching people trying to fumble their way through Windows File Manager looking for data. But the really key thing is if you can unlock the computer where it's chained up, can you get the whole computer out of the office? And can you do it without powering it off? So we are hot-jacking into the wires, splicing in a UPS, using a tool that feds use called a hot plug to transfer the switching of the power on a whim. But a lot of people, mad dash, half Tiger Team, half Marx Brothers movie, running around this office, getting everything, getting out clean, locking it up after themselves. Yeah, I can see a lot of us who used to be the guy who would maybe get drunk and worry about being arrested. Now we all have jobs where we do this professionally and get paid for it.
Reset so we'll score.
All right, we are ready to begin, everyone. We're going to do science over here. We're going to do less science over there. These teams are tasked with cooling a beer to exactly 42 degrees, which is ridiculous. But people came through. People came through in amazing ways that I never expected. This year, I took away all the restrictions about what you can and can't do, and I said you have to get it to exactly 42 degrees. Time! And this last minute entry, Team Ice, Not Science, if I remember the name right, hit it exactly. And it was a fantastic success in the end.
This is Shiznez live from DEFCON in the beautiful city of Las Vegas. Behind me you can see the skyline. It's a rooftop! Look, it's a rooftop! Over to your right, if Dave can get it. There we go. There's the mountains. There's the Alexis Park.
The Alexis Park is part of the DEFCON legend. It definitely, it's probably the closest thing DEFCON has to a home.
I know, I wish it was still at the Alexis Park.
There was a long period of time that I associate with Alexis Park. We were there for a long time, 6 or 7 years.
I mean, we had the whole property, you could hang out by the pool.
This is some horrible 70s, like apartment building laid out rows and rows of these hotel rooms with pools and grass areas down the middle.
It's like multiple pools that we could just party at all night.
If you don't know what Pool 2 means, if you don't know what Pool 3 means, you weren't there. I mean, there's some really ridiculous stuff went on.
Pool 2 and Pool 3 were just sort of like these nexuses of activity and energy. You could be guaranteed to find something going on at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., all the way to, the sunrise.
and we had folks that were underage, and we had folks that were overage, and everyone was not sober and doing their thing. And
I was told at one point that at the Alexis Park, we did enough business in alcohol sales that equaled about 4 months of their normal alcohol sales.
And you talk about debauchery. The AP was where true debauchery at DEFCON occurred.
And at the time, the hotel owners, they were all right. They were all right. They had the attitude of, you know what, you can trash our hotel if you want. You can pay for it. But you're going to, but at the end of the day, we'll take your money.
They weren't as concerned about the lights around the pool getting destroyed and things of that nature, so it was a little bit easier to deal with destruction in that way.
I go to check in, and they hand me a list with check-in. They're like, okay, let me explain this to you. And it's a list of all of the objects in the room at the Alexis Park with a dollar amount next to it. If you would like to destroy this object in your room, this is how much it will cost you.
You could just get insane and you weren't waking anyone up. You didn't have to worry about security coming and telling you to stop doing something, because usually you were doing it to somebody who wanted you to.
The Alexis Park, we were much more hands-on because they didn't have the security staff that a casino does.
So I was arrested at DEFCON in 2002 by the hotel security guards, but I don't know who ordered it. I guess a goon, probably Priest, ordered it, and I ended up in the Alexis Park jail, which was very roomy. It was kind of a Bacchanalian Mediterranean motif. There were like grape leaves on the walls and things like that. There was no bars or anything like that.
And since it was a non-gambling hotel, you could do whatever you want, wherever you wanted, because you didn't have to be an adult.
You used to make announcements at DEFCON that so-and-so's parents are looking for their runaway child, who was 17 and was off at the con.
It was a different experience. Everybody says, I wish it was the Alexis Park again. Oh, I wish we were back at the Alexis Park. Honestly, I do too. I really like the environment, the pool parties, the open atmosphere. We had the whole hotel. But then everybody forgets that, oh, the lines are ridiculous. Oh, the rooms were overcrowded. Oh, I couldn't do anything. It was awful.
There was no room for speaking. I mean, people would make t-shirts about how terrible it was to get into the tent in the parking lot.
So it's better. It's more organized. But yeah, it's a little different. I wouldn't go back.
For us to go back there now, we would have to cut this conference by 2/3. And nostalgically, yes, I look back on that time and it was a great time. But we need a venue of the size of the Rio now to support the size that we've become.
But that's probably the time when things seem to settle in that, we've got something going here and it's probably going to continue for a while.
Well, that's one of the things. I mean, obviously the Alexis Park is near and dear to a lot of people because this is, how many years have we been away from the Alexis Park? And still, every year, somebody drives over there, walks into the front of the hotel, and steals the giant floor mat in the front and brings it back to con.
A conference badge has 3 purposes. The first purpose is to show that you've paid for the conference. It's a security token. Number 2, it sets the level of your security when you're within the conference. Third, I wanted the badges that I created to be something that helped brought people together. I intentionally designed the badges to cause people to have to look at each other and talk to each other. To get to know somebody that they might not otherwise have known. It really is the interaction with the other people at DEFCON that makes DEFCON what it is. It's not I have this uber awesome electronic circuit badge that does such and such. It's the people wearing the badge that matter. And I think a lot of people miss that.
The years where we've had an electronic badge, people show up wanting to do something with this awesome little piece of tech that they were just given for their entry fee.
This is this is like an open badge solder session. We're helping people complete adding the connectors to their badges. we're not doing it for them, we're assisting them and letting them do it themselves, because that way they learn how to solder. So far, no one's done anything that hasn't been able to be fixed, so it's more of a just learning and community learning project, I guess, of just doing the badges.
Yes, first DEFCON, first time soldering. A lot of firsts this weekend.
I really like to help other people just get better at what they do, or to find an inspiration, something they're passionate about. And I like to help them progress along that path.
Pretty much 90% of the people here have never soldered in their life. This is their first time, and that's the goal. Let's introduce people, hey, it's not that scary, it's okay. We're here to guide you, and maybe you'll do it in the future. If not, you know you've done it, so it's one of those skills you'll have.
I know a lot of guys who are like collecting badge firm errors and flashing stuff and have no idea what they're supposed to be solving.
Usually the only people who are really getting it are sequestered in their hotel room, just going crazy on it.
There's some people that counterfeit the badges every year. And we try to make the badges hard to counterfeit, and there's some people that spend a lot of time counterfeiting the badges. And I think that's cool. If you can counterfeit the badge and you can get past the guards repeatedly, good for you. You probably deserve to get in, right? That's what a hacking convention is all about. If you're good enough to fool everybody, you put more energy into hacking that badge than we did probably in producing it. So good for you.
They had the smiley face, skull and crossbones, the basic logo for the con. And I think their first design flaw was same PCB board, different colors. So you had people that went out and spray painted them and things like that. Well, the absolute worst thing to do is to step into the goon sock with your cute little red badge and claim that you're a goon, because we all know who we are. And once the door closes, you're ours.
And so it was a space where I felt more at home, where I didn't have to explain anything to anybody than any other context I'd ever been in. Real hackers are incredible. They take nothing for granted, and they look at things to see how they can be combined to make something new. And hackers really have an interesting, innovative, creative way, the best of them, of looking at all sorts of problems that a normal person wouldn't know how to do. And being fearless in the face of ambiguity, holding multiple representations of reality simultaneously in your mind, even though they may be contradictory and conflicting, and holding them there lightly while you explore which ones are a best fit for now to the sensory data coming into society. Feynman, great physicist, he said, the interesting fact is the anomalous fact. Emphasize both fact and anomaly, because it says there's a whole cornerstone here of another way of looking at things that we're missing. Well, that's what hackers are looking for, and that's why I've taken to it so, because the edge, where new realities are appearing and normals don't see them at first, but hackers are looking for them. They're kind of the little homunculus inside the machine. When I come here, I don't have to explain anything to anybody. I don't have to back up and explain my point of view or my point of reference or why I said what I said or what was ironic or what was meant straight up, because people just kind of get it. And that's a terrific thing.
Probably our signature event is Capture the Flag. When you go to DEFCON and walk through the Capture the Flag area, you're seeing some of the best teams that are out there.
Where this is the Wimbledon, this is the place around the world where it all comes together.
What strikes me isn't even in the room, it's the fact that there were a couple thousand people competing around the world to get into that room.
Some of those guys who travel from like South Korea or the Middle East to do the CTF, they came thousands of miles and are not going to sleep for 3 days to participate in one game at one event that happens once a year. And that's what amazes me.
It's about a bunch of different teams getting together on a big network trying to steal each other's stuff, in essence. So
It's worth coming once to see it.
Capture the Flag has been there since the beginning, and really from a hacker perspective is the type of thing of what you think of, hey, how do I take over this guy's computer?
Don't miss any con where you can sit down on the laptop and make the network work and start breaking things.
Cool. So Crash and Compile is a programming contest crossed with a drinking game. What can possibly go wrong? If you're familiar with ACM-style programming contests, you're given a challenge, a word problem. You know, write a program that takes this kind of input and generates that kind of output. Some arbitrary word problem. And you start coding. You're coding along, and then you say, I think I'm gonna test something, and you try to compile it. And it doesn't compile, you take a drink. If it compiles but doesn't run, you take a drink. If it runs but doesn't produce the right output, you take a drink. Okay, you can see how this can degrade very quickly. After 45 minutes, any points that are not awarded, or that have not already been awarded to competing teams, gets awarded to Team Distraction. The team with the most points at the end of the night goes home with a black badge. No, Team Distraction does not qualify for a black badge, unfortunately. And you're coding.
No, I am part of Team Distraction, which we try. Our actual first goal is to make sure that they get enough water and they don't drink too much. But then of course we have to distract them from their coding and kind of like mess them up and just distract them a little.
Does everyone have a beer? Yes. Yeah, let's rephrase that. Who doesn't have a beer? Are we there yet? We're there. Okay. Any other questions? No? Groovy. Let's go program.
Gotta energize the crowd. I gotta set the pace, set the tone, and then I have to say something outrageous pretty damn quickly. Gotta insult somebody quickly. The show's begun, and I'm not really aware of much of anything else for the next couple of hours. I want the audience engaged within 10-15 seconds. I want to have that dialogue.
Copyright lawyers mean this by IP. Win or lose.
What is intellectual property?
What is intellectual property is correct. You can piss this crowd off very easily. So you get your feedback very, very quickly as to whether you're doing a good job or a bad job. Jeff and I had talked, and he says, I really want to notch up the 20th. I want to go up with a bang, and I want to do all these crazy things. And it was cool.
The final category is beer.
Oh, thank God.
I think that this audience probably 50% bigger than last year. So that would put that crowd, I'm guessing, in the 2,500 range.
Hey, sorry. Oh,
something
I
like
just
that.
realized we don't have our mouse pad.
But
Hang
this
on.
one was huge. Huge.
Oh God, we're at the party section here. Hey, sorry everyone out there. We had a very long but productive meeting for the DEFCON groups. QueerCon. I'm so mad they're canceled this year because I originally booked a room at QueerCon, and that was going to be my mainstay for this year for DEFCON 28, and that didn't happen. So I'm pretty sure I missed like 2/3 of this documentary based on where we currently are at. But I am going to comment on the last bits and ones. We actually might do this again for our meeting, where I'm going to do this live commentary, which will be next week on Friday around 7 p.m.-ish, which will be on August 21st. But yeah, so I was going to point out a ton of people. I can still point out probably a bunch of people in this. I think Flea or something's going to come up soon. That's Darren Kitchen from Hack 5. Yeah, crazy. So yeah, guys, that's Steven Olam playing 303, does like an impromptu band every year. I don't know if they're going to do some crazy stuff this year, the DEFCON 303 group. Yeah, oh, yes. Include. I love this. I'm going to move this over because my thing's probably been in the way, like that's what she said.
Have a good con, you probably have no recollection of what actually happened.
And thank you, Arson. We try to do as much as we can, but yeah, this is a great summary of what every DEFCON and Hope looks like at Saturday night. That's literally what it looks like every Saturday night. I'm just going to do a test thing just to make sure we haven't been like blacklisted on some sort of streaming. Nope, we all work. So this is next day, Saturday. Okay, so I did miss a bunch. You probably also saw Renderman and Gray Frequency at one point. They used to be married. They're not anymore. But Gray Frequency, I actually met Renderman through my friend Gray Frequency. So that's like a whole thing. Can you guys hear the documentary in the background? Because I had to lower the volume. And I had to put our volume so that way you can kind of hear everything. So I hope that works. I think they're going to be talking about the keynote in a moment. That was at DEFCON 20.
If you've never been, don't base your assumptions off what you've read or heard.
Right.
At this point, especially, DEFCON is something that you just have to experience.
And I would say Hope, CCC.
DEFCON is not a convention; it's a meta convention.
Eka Party. Yeah, that's how we describe it.
Gatherings, meetups,
We describe DEFCON as a mega convention. That it's basically a convention with smaller conventions in it. I think this is actually the first year where it's been like a convention. So yeah. By the way, if anyone has any questions in chat, and if you like this content, you can like, share, and subscribe at defcon201.org, or hit that bell or follow or subscribe button on any of this stuff.
Internet stuff. Only through that. You come from a small town, right? You don't know anybody. You do this weird stuff you're into.
I also know there's Swamp Rat from CDC. I love that he chooses to be on the toilet. That's like the type of interview thing that I would do, because they're just all the old bees are all like assholes in the most lovable way.
So they change periodically, and so the fire marshal you had last year may not be the
The legal issues, the endless amount of legal issues.
Hello? Hey. Okay, I'll let you in.
I can think of a couple things he might have done, that I wish he hadn't have done. I can think of one. When we started, it was very clear that Jeff was younger, and he was way smarter than me, but in my opinion, he had no street sense, which essentially meant that he didn't know what the ramifications could be from the law.
He had no legal skills. Yeah.
Some of the stuff we were dealing with.
That is a great picture of him.
No, it's really not property.
That's the DT tired on the last day. Look.
That you can do something about. You can liquidate that. You can price it. You can figure it out. I mean, we've had lawsuits. We've dealt with, big major battles. It was me versus 8 lawyers from Cisco for about 2 years.
That sounds like
It's
Cisco.
got these players that can get involved that aren't really attached to DEFCON that can put DEFCON at massive risk for government intervention, heavy-duty lawsuit intervention. You know, people want to come to DEFCON, which is fine. That's what DEFCON, Jeff likes it, I think. They come to DEFCON and they're like, hey man, I want to step on the toes of fill in the blank, or Mondo, Master of the Universe, aggressive company. I want to come to DEFCON and piss them off. What do you think? And you know, it certainly isn't boring when somebody says, yeah, I'm going to shut down, you know, huge corporation X.
So there's like problems the public knows about, and then there's problems that never see the light of day.
Thankfully.
Or hopefully never see the light of day. And so we've had a little bit on both sides. You know, nearly dodged lawsuits, those kinds of things. We had one at the Alexis Park, where there was a federal grand jury we heard about that was investigating DEFCON, and they were asking for all the room reservation and credit card info on everybody who attended DEFCON. And luckily we cash only, so there's no records fees from us.
That's why it's free this year, because they don't want to do any records of registrations.
But the hotel and vendors in the area.
That's what I like to think.
Getting their records taken, seized, and they're performing some investigation. In the end, nothing came of it. The grand jury, as far as I know, never did anything with it. But that's one of those things where, for years, I was telling people, there's a reason why you don't process credit cards and keep records. And after years of doing that, I was vindicated in my paranoia, because that would have been a huge legal battle to deal with all of that. To try to turn it over, not turn it over. So there's battles like that that never see the light of day. And this is the first time I've ever actually talked about it.
Describe Jeff Moss.
Ooh, that's a tricky question.
Oh.
The most level-headed, crazy
Jeff is a
person.
friend. He's an interesting guy. He travels a lot. He's very intelligent.
Jeff's awesome. He is legitimately a good person. He's absolutely brilliant. And in my
No, he
opinion,
is. He's
if we didn't have
very
Jeff,
selfless.
This community and this culture would have never grown to what it is. Without Jeff, DEFCON would have never made it this far. I believe that without DEFCON goons, it also would have never made it this far. But Jeff is a glue. You know, he's the glue that brought us this far.
Yeah, this grew from a very small conference where the staff was equal to or more than the attendees, to a crowd that regularly, we've had to move venues every couple of years because we keep growing so much. Yet that continual continuity and the spirit of DEFCON, if you will, is maintained because of Jeff.
He's overly concerned about what the DEFCON attendees think about the conference. He wants them to have a good
Oh yeah,
experience.
he's big on
He really
feedback.
does.
Jeff cares about DEFCON so much. He's a bit shy, as I'm sure everybody has gotten to figure out over the years. It's difficult to get a hold of him sometimes at DEFCON, and difficult to grab him.
You know, he's
Sometimes.
like most hackers. He's not overly social. He's got that quiet side, a little withdrawn. He's only got so much that he's willing to give you.
He is a really personal, kind-hearted guy. He is managing chaos, and it is not an easy job, and he is a very smart guy, and it's a very difficult job. And fortunately, he's also surrounded himself with people who can help him do that.
We're all going crazy right now for DEFCON Safe Mode.
In the early days, there wasn't a formal structure.
Yeah, it was a room party.
Kind of in
so
the
yeah.
beginning, we all were kind of security goons to a certain extent. And whether it was official or unofficial, there was a group of people that kind of helped keep control of what was going on. And it wasn't really until later years that, as the attendance went up, that we had to deal with more formal roles.
Rule number 4, do listen to the goons. If a red shirt tells you to do something, do it. The goons aren't trying to ruin your fun. They're just trying to make DEFCON an enjoyable experience for everyone.
I mean, without the goons, I think there's a lot of things that would just fall apart really fast. And they have in the past.
And to note about goons, it's not
Even
just
after
security.
DEFCON
All
9,
volunteers
really rough
to
year.
some degree are seen
Don't
as
exactly
goons.
remember why, but we had growth spurts.
Where at the Alexis Park, they're physically breaking up fights. They're picking drunks up out of the rose bushes. They're doing CPR on people. The goons at the early Alexis Park days that everybody misses were actually goons.
There have been some serious cardiac events that I participated in. But
There's also a lot of hoop stuff happens. I'm glad you don't have to do that this year at Safe Mode. So if you have a heart attack in your own building, just call 911.
You know, should we call it quits at 10? We've had a good run, 10 years.
That also means you could just drink as much as you want because you're in your own house.
You know, maybe
which
we'll
is
do
what we're
one
going to do
more
all weekend.
and see how we feel. And, you know, we did 10, and 10 turned out to be pretty good. And thankfully, we didn't quit.
All of the various teams have kind of occurred organically.
There's a lot of compartmentalization that I don't think people realize. Everyone has their own responsibilities that they're dealing with.
Still love that bullshit flag.
We've spent a lot of time over the last year setting up for this convention. It is truly a labor of love. We're all volunteers. We don't do this for glory. We don't do this for anything other than we want you guys to have a good time.
Yeah, basically every year for 8
When I'm
months
not
of
at
planning
DEFCON,
to the
we're talking about DEFCON the entire year. We're planning for DEFCON. We're thinking about DEFCON. We're telling DEFCON stories.
We're doing a full job for free basically because you're that passionate.
We live it. We love it.
You don't become a goon, you're
Bug.
born a goon.
Skydog
The
Con
joke is that we
a
work
spin-off.
for shirts. We get a couple of shirts to go and work for 12-hour days plus at DEFCON, plus all the volunteer time throughout the rest of the year.
A couple of our guys have worn pedometers over the years, and the average shift here is
Oh, yeah.
15 and 25 miles. So we tend to, especially
I know at
people
Hope
who
I do between 3,000 and 5,000 steps
right
each day,
footwear, make
so
sure
yeah.
you always have water on you. Never walk into a situation where you don't have a plan.
Or backup.
One of the things I like to say is at DEFCON, I live my life in the gutter, so you don't have to.
Pretty much.
But you're right. Things that people don't see. That's our DEFCON. That's the Security Goons DEFCON.
It's like there's
I'm
last step
glad
at
to do
Hope people
anything I
don't
can
see.
for my fellow goons, anytime, any day.
So yeah, I think you're either going to get to the keynote or we're going to get to some of the other side stuff going on. I think this might be the keynote, or at least some of the speakers. I think. We're going to find out.
I was creating a contest that would be something I
Oh,
would want
contest.
to participate in. I used
think
to
it's
say,
DEFCON.
magic is dead in the world, so I'm going to create some for everybody else.
Welcome to the badge hacking contest, not badge hacking, the crypto game that they do with the badge, including this year. It's pretty nuts.
I
There
have
he
to
is,
design
lost.
cryptography and puzzles for an incredibly brilliant audience that is designed to be solved in 3 days. That's been not too easy, not too hard. So now that became my personal contest. My challenge to myself is, how do I continue to entertain some of the smartest people in the world?
You don't want to be so
Keep their brains
easy.
occupied for 3 days when
That
a lot of them are
they
smarter
solve
than
it too
I am,
fast,
and
but you don't
can
want it to
do
be
this
so
stuff
hard that becomes unsolvable. That's the kind of the trick here.
We've mapped out history challenge. The first thing we got in history challenge was a letter with two keywords: read program and underfoot. This referred to an insane sentence in the program. It's on page 40. Underfoot represents the third oval, the third sticker in the convention center, and those two things are two markers we had to write on a piece of paper and give to Lost.
Probably one
I
of
love
the
this
biggest compliments I've ever
guy's
paid
wall.
was,
Oh, wait.
and I've heard this a couple of times, are people that say, I go to DEF CON to compete in your contest. And that's, I mean, that, I don't know what else anyone could say. I'm very flattered when people say things like that. I'm shocked because I'm like, it's just
There's
stupid
Tara.
stuff that
I think that's
up
Tara
throughout
in the
year, and
background
then I
there.
put it
This
together
very
and-
much looks like Tara.
And
It's
try and
Deviant's
make it
wife.
a coherent, flowing contest to the best of my ability.
Tara is an amazing person in herself. I love how everyone's wall when they do these challenges looks like that meme with like the papers and the red thread. Like that's the badge challenge every freaking year. Hardware Hacking Village, huge staple, probably one of the first villages.
At DEFCON 20, and this is where we teach people
Locks!
to pick locks for entertainment and sport reasons.
Why?
Most technical people seem to have a rather strange curiosity about how things work, and one of the things that leads us into that is how locks work.
Locks is some of the most
We can teach
OG
most people within
security.
5-10 minutes how to start picking locks.
I can teach
And
people in
then
3 to
some
5
of them
minutes.
will stay in here, and at the end of the day we throw them out and they say, oh, I didn't go to the talks I was supposed to be going to because they've been sitting in here picking locks all day long.
Happens at every lockpicking village. I can't wait to see what Tool's doing because there's a lot of really good talks. So I was. Tamper Evidence Village. I think this debuted that year at DEFCON 20. This was Dark Tangent's baby. He's wanted this type of village forever, and he made it from the ground up. So that's why he's like literally there handing them out because this is like his baby. If there's one thing out of DEFCON he babies every year besides overall DEFCON, which is why it used to be called Dark Tangent's Tamper Evidence Contest with the Tamper Evidence Village. And this is where you're using like physical chemicals and manipulations. You're basically given a package. They have workshops and tutorials, but you're given a physical package and you're trying to basically open it and then take all the stuff out and then put it back the way it is without anyone noticing like how you actually open the thing. So it gets a little tricky. Some absolute brilliant stuff, and you look insane in your this, and it's also creepy because people are running around with these giant hypodermic needles, and so they think that's like the biohacking village, or everyone's doing like crazy Hunter S. Thompson drugs, but no, that's actually to inject the acetones and stuff to weaken the glue, so that way it's weak enough where you can take the stuff out, but then you can put it back together and the glue re-sticks. That's one technique out of many that they did for this village, and it started again 8 years ago, and I think it's still going on this year. I have to double check. You're gonna know when we publish our guides later on, so that's gonna be really cool. And again, I'm sorry guys for missing out on the early part of this. We had a very important meeting for DEFCON groups, but now we're able to announce a bunch of stuff.
Most
so
DEFCON talks start with a great deal of alcohol and end with a great deal of alcohol. At least the good ones that I've noticed.
Welcome to Render Man. He's going to be one of the two in this. I love Render Man. He's a crazy, awesome guy, in my opinion, to hang out with. Like, truly, like, you know...
The
like,
aircraft tracking stuff came out of the fact that I bought an app. For a couple of bucks, they allowed me to point my cell phone at the contrail, look at the information that was for that particular flight was overlaid on the camera. As I started digging, I found more and more issues. You know, just out of my own curiosity, I was, how does this work? I found all these issues, and it got really scary because I speak a lot, and I go to a whole bunch of conferences. You know, this stuff can start getting really dangerous. So I was thinking, okay, this, even if I don't have all the answers, I need to get this answer out.
Yeah, there's Gray. I've been friends with Gray for a while.
I've done enough of these things.
They used to be married. They're not anymore. I'm still friends with both of them.
I don't get, you know, jitters or nerves or anything like that.
It's kind of funny because Gray Frequency is a really awesome person.
I'm just kind of, you know, running through some of the slides and talking some of the
and hacker in her own right. And what used to frustrate both of them is like Render Man is basically famous in the hacker community, so everyone would just swamp him with crazy stuff and would ignore Gray as if she's some sort of groupie or something when that was his wife for a while. And the way I knew them is Gray Frequency was my great friend, and Render Man was just her husband or the guy he hung out with, and that's how I made good friends with. But well, I was originally Gray's friend for a while, but
when I get bored, bad things happen.
That's also what I say. But that's
you know, at the Las Vegas airport here, you've got a flight landing every 90 seconds. That's an awful lot of metal, money, people moving around. How does this all work? How does this all fit
And so, because I wasn't like bootlicking Render Man, and like again, Gray was my friend, and still is my friend. That's how I developed a really awesome relationship independently between both of them. And I'm just so happy to know them.
They're looking for an entertaining discussion on interesting technologies that at the end of the day are kind of important.
And there's Dan, colorblind Dan, other cool person to hang out with.
Why is the internet such an insecure place? What do we have to do? Not in theory, not to satisfy academic stuff, but like real world, what do we need to change to make this thing secure?
If you think this is big, he got to actually keynote Black Hat USA last year, so
all my best research
is really good.
All year I work on, you know, what am I going to bring to DEFCON for the next year? What am I going to do for this particular event? Because it's where it began for me. My career started because I started speaking out here in Vegas and started coming out to DEFCON and showing off these toys. I'll be honest, a lot of my talks have had nothing to do with security. It's just like, yo, look what I can make that thing do.
The presentation was just facilitating, you know,
dialogue with this industry because
Thank you,
unfortunately, with something
Voodoo
like,
Voodoo
you know, a
Entity,
major
Voodoo
vulnerability
Entity
in
for
their
following us.
control,
Thank you so much. And again, if
there's
you
no
like
phone
this sort
number
of
to call in
content
for
that we're going to be doing, and we're going to be doing some of this for the
"Hey,
next 3
talk
days, you're
about
going to see
this."
little slices of DEF CON, some parts that you normally don't
that
see,
doesn't
I would
exist.
think. Please hit the bell, like,
It was
share,
the first time I
subscribe.
dealt with
We
something
very
that
much
was
appreciate it. And again,
really
if you're in chat,
serious.
we like lurkers, but we also like
entire
to talk
talk
to you
was
guys.
theory.
So
I
if you have any
no
questions about
facilities
us
to
or
actually
DEF CON Safe
test
Mode this year,
anything,
go right ahead.
You know, in a real world scenario, because obviously I don't want to be screwing with a plane while in flight.
Sometimes I wish I was this kind of famous and important in the hacker world, but also just the
My talks
pressure.
are stories.
Just no.
And that's the one thing that I advise everyone else giving a speech. You're telling a story to your friends about some cool stuff.
Yes, that's how you do a talk. That's how you get
I
people
have hundreds of
engaged.
hours of research
in a
that
talk.
I have to tie together into a coherent explanation of the world.
Learning storytelling with public speaking is a very important thing in order to get your information across. Even if it's a document you're posting online.
I was
Tell
expecting a
story.
response, and oh boy, did I get it. I was talking to people from major airlines, people working for airplane manufacturers, air traffic controllers, trainers. I've got a pocket full of business cards after this that I have to go through.
Yeah, I'm more of kind of a behind-the-scenes person most of the time. So again,
Loudly knocking on the door and saying, "You might have a problem here. Let's talk about this."
not like the front guy for like DEF CON groups, but like I'm not
Over
gonna
the
lie and
years,
say that we wouldn't have started this whole
I've
DEF CON
gotten
group village if I
relatively
hadn't put the message
high
out there. So
profile,
I prefer to do that instead.
I am very happy and honored for all the obligations that come along with being a high-profile individual, but I do miss being able to just wander through the crowds and see cool stuff and watch cool talks.
We all feel the same way as Dan right now with
I
DEF
got a
CON
lot of
Safe
stuff
Mode.
I've got to do. There's a lot of
I did reach Voodoo Entity's question about, let's see, the talks on a media server.
I'm not complaining.
Video and slides,
This is
there's
a
only
tremendously
audio.
fun
They
thing I
might
get
still
to
be
have.
updating the
Build
video,
all these
and I
crazy
believe the
toys
video
and
is also
build
on
Penn and
YouTube,
Teller
but let me
and
double
show
check
'em
for you
off.
right now.
The best moment for me at DEF CON so is going to be at 4 in the morning when someone's showing off some really silly stunt that they
That's
do.
every good hacker con,
Maybe
but
it's good or maybe it's not, but man, they love it and they're enjoying talking about it.
I'm going to check that out right now for you. Remember, I'm not part of core DEF CON staff, but I will at least answer questions, and we'll find out together. This is back before it was called Roots Asylum. This is DEF CON Kids, which turned into Roots Asylum, so... yeah, and they are up on YouTube, but I'm gonna double check for you because I'm pretty sure they do have the videos. They're either still uploading them or they're gonna upload them when the end of the convention happened.
From DEFCON 4 and 5.
This got canceled this year. I wish this still happened in some form.
4 and DEFCON 5.
We
and
somehow
seeing people-
procreated. I don't know how this happened.
I'm now seeing them bring their children, and in some cases their grandchildren, to DEFCON 20.
I say, great, bring your kids to DEF CON because there's no better community to have your kids around than the
Yay,
people at
Nikita!
DEF CON. There's every
Without Nikita, we
opportunity
would all
for
be
them to
dead.
learn something. And as long as you're a good parent, as long as you're a good hacker, anything that they see or experience, you can lead them on that path.
Yep, so this is plastic. So this is just a long string of plastic, so it goes into this. This thing melts, there's a little heater in here that melts it, and then squirts it out.
Joe Grandis signed the DEF CON badges for a while, and then he took a break, and then he's back.
This is the second time for DEF CON Kids and the second time that I've been involved. And DEF CON Kids last year sort of just was a smaller way to try to get kids and their parents involved in the hacker community and basically teach kids about lockpicking and soldering and hardware hacking and privacy issues and law enforcement issues, just all of these things that kids don't normally learn in school. Speaking at DEF CON Kids and working with these kids is almost more exciting to me, or just as exciting, if not more, than giving a talk at DEF CON. And having an opportunity to directly influence these kids, I mean, it's like an immediate, you can see in their eyes just this immediate understanding of once you show them
Always
something,
be my
yeah.
dream to talk at DEF CON, at Roots Asylum, which is now what it's
I
called.
would like to start, programming. Like, I would like to start learning the languages that they mentioned for for example, I'd like to start learning Python. What we're thinking of doing is adding some little extra pieces onto here.
Not him, Nikita. Nikita does a ton of connections, and she makes sure she sacrifices her sanity to make sure the core staff is sane. And if I remember correctly, her job is one, she does lock coordination. Oh, there's Corey Dr. And she's also responsible for a lot of the call for papers. So all of the talk submissions still, if I remember correctly, go through her. So yeah, no, we wouldn't really have a DEF CON without her, because all the guys would do so much infighting they would die. And also our DEF CON talks would just be a bunch of scribbles.
It's kind of like, for the kids, it's really inspired them.
No, I mentioned this earlier, Kailan. Unfortunately, they canceled Roots earlier this year. In fact, let me quickly go to Roots' website here, which is roots.org, I believe. And I'll turn on the browser again. Where are you?
Get older,
I'm gonna move this up and
I would
over.
definitely call myself a hacker.
So as you can see here, let's see, See, now they're 2021. And then I think
I plan on bringing my 14-year-old to con.
On Twitter.
This year, hopefully, we'll be her first.
If I bring up Roots.
So I'm hoping to drag her out.
Not Roots owns, Roots Asylum. I think they make the announcement on here. I think. No, they don't. I know it's on their website that they said they canceled this year. I think it's under their schedule. Oh, no, I just went past it because I'm a moron. See? Due to the COVID pandemic, Roots has been canceled 2020. They're now going to be in 2021. So that's...
And he's like, who are you?
No, it is great. So that's what happened. Yeah. No, and I feel bad because, I think I understand why.
I don't expect
because
to know who I am.
It's
after all these years. I mean, I've been going to his
303
shows
group.
for
It's the same reason
16
why
years.
Everyone's afraid of all the kids going back to school. And two is that
personally, because frankly, the dude's got like 20,000 people.
Yeah, this is very respectful what
know him personally.
Noid does here.
I'm okay with that.
That's cool. That's cool. I've always wanted to speak at Roots. A bunch of things. Oh, the thing you want to say to Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
Pretty much. Yeah, I also understand. I think what their issue might have been, the scavenger hunt's amazing.
After
I know those
Capture
people.
the Flag, I thought
Hold
the
on.
scavenger hunt kind of embodied the hacker spirit the most.
This is where all the stupid stuff happens. Where we get to really test the sensors on our live streaming platforms.
They're going to suck my blood.
They keep threatening every year that the year I finally go to DEF CON, they're gonna add like a 700-point thing that says "Get into shenanigans with Side Pocket" because they want to kill me.
List of items and or tasks for the teams to complete by the end of the day or the end of the week.
Thank you for Kamala Linux for following us on here. We're going to have a lot of content. We're going to be streaming parts of DEF CON this weekend. And we also have our shows tomorrow. It's also going to be Archfile Linux Perspective with G.I. Jack, who's our other co-founder, where he goes through Arch Linux and gaming. I'm going to shut up because this is so interesting.
We want people to have a good time, and ending up in jail generally is not a good time. While there may have been things that were a gray area or could end up being an illegal activity.
I know that dude. He's not. I know Grifter too, but like the other dude. Oh, thank you, Bit Crusher, for the follow. We're getting all the follows today. We haven't even done anything yet. Wait till they see this upcoming weekend. Again, testing the sensors. That's what my day sounds like. Hey, look, it's DEF CON 201 official badges. But no, I understand because I think their fear was live streaming videos of kids is always an issue.
Sourced it or found
I did wish that they did pre-recorded videos that parents could watch at home. But they wanted to be safe, so I understand why they put that. This is. Oh, hello, GM Key Dotus. Thank you for following our stream. We're going to be streaming stuff all weekend. In fact, tomorrow's going to be G.I. Jack Show, Archvile Linux Perspective at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so I hope you check out his show. That's going to be a real treat. I think he's going to be showing off his everyday carry, and then he's going to, I don't know if the gaming's going to be there. Wow, we're getting all these follows. Mantle Turtle, thank you for following us. Holy crap. This is why I wish we were an affiliate, because we could use the money to do a lot more stuff. Oh, and then we have party night for Saturday. I could talk over most of this. But we're going to be setting up maybe this weekend, buy me a cup of coffee or whatever. And we're not asking for much. We'll probably make those like $1, $5 each. But I get new lockpicking tools. We're going to get new gear for the stream. So I hope you really enjoy not only what we're going to be doing this weekend for DEF CON and our usual programs, Hackle and Commander, which will be next week, Crypto Barons, which will be this Saturday, Archvile Links Perspective this Thursday. But we're going to be doing like crazy stuff all fall, even with COVID going on. So we're stapling gel to a tree and eating sushis and scuba gear. That sounds like a DEF CON 201 event, so yeah. There you go. DEF CON is the perfect distraction while this annoying time's gonna think we'll get a shit ton more followers this Sunday. Yeah, no, I know that, not to brag, here's humble brag. I do know that we have like quite a fan base, which is so unusual for New Jersey, especially since, you know, this was really done. I mean, you could wait till our 4-year anniversary, but we'll probably mention on air, yeah, he's getting his funk on, of how this really came together just as a local, quick, last-minute thing, and we know that, well, it's some boobs. That's also, I forget his name now, but I know that guy. He's a nerd rapper. He's really awesome. I can't remember his name right now because I just got distracted by giant boobs. And a flame wheel. Those are like my other friends. Again, we were supposed to have this crazy party where we were gonna have this weekend. We were supposed to have like there's Dual Core. I love him so much.
Oh, on the weekend at DEF CON. I think last year we booked 14 shows.
Yeah. We were supposed to have
I issued the ultimatum.
him live rapping on our show. We're gonna have a bunch of DJs.
And
we're gonna do charity cards against humanity. We're gonna have all of my burlesque and stripper male and BDMS stripper male and female friends, and we're gonna do a party this weekend. But a lot of different things fell through, especially once we got involved with the DEF CON Groups Village. All my time evaporated for that. We might do something similar. There's this. We might do something similar in October, and we are probably going to take our virtual party plans and move them to our 4-year anniversary next year in March.
The thing about DEFCON that I find incredibly fascinating is that, yeah, a lot of these basement dwelling, like, you know, guys are just like basically getting tan off of an LCD monitor, party the hardest out of anybody I've
love
ever
his
met.
description. You probably recognize him because there's a lot of other
Like,
just virtual
serious
hackathons.
rock stars here that everybody
where
gets
he
fueled by
DJ'd
alcohol
music at the
and
end of them. Like I think
balls
what was it?
and,
There was like a
you know,
top
any type
hat or
of,
tin hat con or whatever.
ADHD
and,
medication to get their
COVID
hands
con
on.
and
So-
stuff. He DJ'd a lot of those. And it was so funny. Well, he was a good DJ, but like it's so fun watching his stream. Videos louder, of course. Yeah. Okay, I'll turn it down again. There we go. That should be better. I love this music because this is such. Oh, I might know her. This is such. There's DT getting drunk. This is such asshole music. This is like a perfect description of Saturday night at a hacker con, but it's like a good con, not InfoSec, a hacker con, like just like, and everyone's just drunk and stupid. And I also want to, and of course, you can't have a good party unless furries are involved. I shit you not. That's why we got DC Furs involved. Hey, Ryok, thank you for following us on here. If we're gonna have a bunch of content for DEF CON safe mode throughout the weekend. We will post that schedule soon. We'll also post the guides before tomorrow morning. And I like to think that's Eyeball from our local scene here, because he also has the horse head thing. That's how I know him. And of course, that's how every night ends. And then you're gonna see how every morning begins in a minute. But yeah, I think we're almost done with the documentary here. So we definitely stream past midnight. But yeah, later on we're gonna have the DEF CON 2.1 safe mode guide. It's gonna have as much stuff as we can, including stuff that hasn't been listed properly on the main DEF CON safe mode website. And we're also gonna check out Black Hat stuff tomorrow, and tomorrow's gonna be Archvile Linux Perspective. So again, if you guys like what you see, you can hit that follow or like content. We stream our meetings third Friday every month. Our next one will be next week, August 21st, which will also be when the Google CTF, which will be participating, and the Diana Initiative, which we've donated money to, will be going off. So, yeah, Hacker Summer Camp month. We have 3 more guides to go after this. It's crazy.
Curious, by show of hands, how many people was this your first DEF CON?
It's gonna be for me. I'm counting this. I have a funny story about this later on, but yeah.
We've got guys that have been helping out for 19 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
It's just like Hope.
would never have expected that.
And CCC, which is older than all of us.
I guess I'm most proud of producing something, having a group of people support me, that's still doing stuff that people care about.
And not all killing each other for it.
What I want to do is we want to hand it over to Zach Franken, who's been the head of operations for, I don't know, closer to 18 years. Let's hear a round of applause.
I wish I saw the earlier stuff, because I did have more comments and people I could point out, but yeah. next time.
DEFCON 20. DEFCON, as Jeff already said, couldn't exist with.
Thank you, Catch Up 456904225. You suck my battleship. Thank you for following us. We're gonna have content all weekend for DEFCON Safe Mode, as well as our meeting next week for August 21st.
I trimmed it slightly.
And this is cool. Wait, are they gonna do the announcement for EFF donations, whatever? But yeah, we're gonna have content this weekend for DEFCON Safe Mode. We have our usual shows. There's 2 ACK. We're going to have our meeting on August 21st. Archvile Next Perspective is tomorrow. Crypto Barons, the show where I talk about cryptocurrency as a technology, will still be happening this Saturday at 8 p.m. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of stuff. And definitely check out the DEFCON Groups Village. That's where you're going to see me working once this year. We just had a big meeting about it. That's why I missed the first part of this documentary on. And yeah, it's going to be crazy stuff. Like if half of this turns gray by September 1st, that's going to be one of the many reasons why.
For 3 days in July or August every year, it's almost something that we think about and work on and do stuff for all year round. It becomes almost a part of your identity, and I know it sounds kind of weird.
It's when everything comes together, I know why I stayed up all night.
Underground since 1992.
In a row.
I want that shirt. I'm ganking that shirt.
There have been moments where you sit back, and it's also part of the reward. You sit back and say, that is just
I wonder how many people are going to just have mohawks this year for no reason. Actually, you know what? Next year we should just do afros. I'm going to start AfroCon. Actually,
I still love.
Hang on a moment. I want to check something on
Twitter.
Twitter.
People are there, and the fact that you helped.
I think that's Lou.
Make it happen for them.
I think that's Lou.
Thank you, Deviant. It was a really great challenge. It was fun to compete, and DEFCON was great. Thank you, everybody.
This community is misunderstood by the media, and unfortunately the media is the message out to the non-geek, non-hacker community. But the thing that I think came out perhaps this year more than any other year.
So I just want to tell you what we've been doing for the last 3 years. Year 1, we had 95 people sign up for Be the Match Bone Marrow Donor Registry. Year 2 was 161. And this year, we got 232 people to sign up. In addition to that, we raised over $3,300 as well.
More than any other year, this one was really about love. With the blood raising, the cancer stuff, the huge amount of money for EFF. I mean, even just saying it and thinking, it gives me kind of goosebumps. This one was 20 years of love.
Okay, we got some numbers for you. The info booth raised $58. The firearm simulator, $3,620. Mohawks, $4,333.
Yeah, everyone was Mohawks.
Eddie Mears with the artist with his great T-shirts, which you can still get outside the contest area, $3,500.
We were supposed to do a hacking plus art thing in Jersey City this year, back in April. And
$15,789.
And I don't know if we're gonna do it at the end of this year or move it to April of next year, but I still want to do that with Yeti and friends, because there's
Jeopardy for a total of $30,380.
there's a lot of art in the community. So yeah.
So thank you very much.
Someone said I just saved my hawk fresh for this eve. So yeah, no, we should gather all the mustache afros and mohawks this year.
What, 3 years
Yes.
in a row now? This is beautiful. We've been waiting for this.
They nailed his feet to the floor
Time
for this.
for Jeff to get his hawk.
And a bit of background, which is why he's going to bring up a certain comment. He was the Obama's administration cybersecurity and tech advisor during both of his administrations. And so this is the context for what he's about to say after he gets his mohawk. That's why he's laughing his ass off.
Now, Jeff failed to mention that he has like 6 different meetings with incredibly important people around the world in the next couple of weeks.
So yeah, he basically reported to Obama and friends
it's
with
actually
the
really nice
mohawk.
fulfilling a promise. Because now they can't bug me.
That's how I feel.
That's true. Now, but I haven't decided. Don't I have to donate money to the EFF for this? I was thinking maybe $10,000.
Yeah, because that's how loaded he at least was at the time. I think he still is. So yeah.
What do you think? That's probably a pretty good thing.
Someone wrote here, it's funny though, I once built a page to list YouTube and enlist DEFCON talks, but no one uses it, so I stopped caring, and the domain hosting runs out this year. But right now I think about getting it renewed and updating the index. I think you should. Reach out to us on that, because one of the things we've been trying to do at DEFCON groups, and is one of the reasons why we're doing the village, is, especially since everyone's online. Thank you for that. We want to,
Screw it, I'm done. I'm gonna go do something else with my time.
we want to network groups together. So we know we've been reaching out to groups of like, hey, we don't have any talks. Do you guys give talks? And we're like, oh yeah, we give talks. So I think Portal or the different DEFCON groups and stuff could do talks. Oh, this is a nice website. Yeah, we'll do that. So yeah, reach out to us. Our email is at info@defcon21.org. That's info@defcon21.org. Or you could go to defcon21.org and click the email link right on our page. And reach out to us for that, because we're trying to expand. Like, if this doesn't work for main DEFCON groups, I think, would be very interested in this. So just email us, and we'll see what we can do on our end. Let me actually show the website real quick that this person made. Look how cool this is. That's cool. It's like Inception. I love it. Inception meets like 486. Sorry, 280. Yeah, 486. So yeah, cool.
And people could continue, the organization continue, they just name it something different. I'd give them all my projectors. It would carry on maybe under a different name, but it probably wouldn't carry on under the DEFCON name. The only scenario I figured
it
out
wouldn't feel the same.
I get hit by a bus and I die. I want to have the final DEFCON as a huge party. And somebody would have to plan that.
A giant funeral. I'm down for that planning. I've already planned Emil Goldstein's funeral against his will, so that's a story for another time. I should probably told that story during Hope 2020. Yeah, no more of these empty rooms. Now it'll just be empty server space. Although the Discords are going to remain active. So every Discord that you see is going to be...
I don't know why. Every year, honestly, every year after DEFCON, I think half the senior staff says never again. All of us. We're all...
Yeah.
Me too.
That's us after every 201 meeting. Even though we love doing
all
this.
Your friends. I have friends all over the world that DEFCON for sure they show up to. And you get wound up, you get excited for it. You look forward to the experience again. So
okay, so ACC 10 bots. Okay, so normally, yes, people just show up.
Yeah,
we actually, before COVID, have been having issues where we basically maxed out our venue. We're supposed to have like 25, 30 people, and pretty much 30 people would show up. Then COVID happened. So we've been, ever since March, we've been live streaming every meeting. In the future, we're still going to be live streaming meetings. Last month, we tried to do an in-person while we streamed, and we had like 3 or 5 people come out, which is fine because everyone, even though New Jersey's doing really good during COVID, shockingly enough, everyone's still super cautious in the state, especially from people out of state. So we have to wait to see, because as Murphy says, which is Governor, there's aesthetics. Knuckleheads, especially from other states or Atlantic City or Hoboken, will probably screw something up. So I will say we have all of our meeting details done already. We're just waiting for DEFCON Safe Mode to be over by Sunday night to announce, because if we announce during now, no one would care. So we have all of our content and stuff, but we're still playing by ear until Monday. If we're going to still do the in-person thing, just because we don't know if the state's going to slap down a measure. But yeah, we meet at a place called Subculture, which is on 260. Yeah, another O, that's 2600. And thank you, Baldy Bad Boy, because I can partially read Lead Speak. That's like my other language besides Japanese and some French. But yeah, thank you for following us here. We're going to have content all weekend for DEFCON Safe Mode and stuff. And if you want to know more about us, you can check us out at our website, defcon201.org. Yep, and it circles back to the beginning with all the badges. And again, I've never been to DEF CON. That's going to be a story in a moment, but I have a lot of friends that work there. I have a lot of friends that go there and do talks there, like, like the keynotes, like big stuff. But yeah, so we meet at Subculture. It's this amazing sandwich stop at 260 Newark Ave in Jersey City. It's 5 blocks away from the, thank you, Act 10 bots for the follow. I just want to finish up this information here. So we're like 4 to 10 blocks away from the Grove Ave Path Station. So from New York, or if you're from New Jersey, like let's say you're from Central Jersey, you can take, provided it's working, the NJ path up to Newark. Basically get to Newark, and then you can take the path train from Newark to where we are. Like it's a straight line. And if you're in New York, you can go down that way. And if you're from anywhere else, drive. Turnpike is scary, but trust me, you'll be able to go through. And that was DEFCON documentary, by the way. Really good, put together documentary. So what was I saying? So we meet there, and it's an amazing sandwich shop. Normally we have this giant, like 70-foot projector screen, and we can air movies and we air the talks on there. Really great sandwiches and food. They also have vegan options. They're very customizable. Drinks. They're still getting back in contact with them for a while. They used to sell Joke Cola, aka the official drink of the elite hacker. We're trying to bring like Club Mate there and stuff like that. And they also have, which is what we're rebuilding for them, Raspberry Pi retro video game machines. But again, because of COVID, they've been hammered. They still last. They also are super pro Black Lives Matter and LGBT and stuff. Like our stuff matches. Like we have been thinking about in the future moving again. But let's say, which is what we want to do. If we want to move to a hackerspace, Fist. That's why we have the little BML thing on Twitch, little BML button. Because I'm half black, by the way. Hence Fro. I always get black people come up to me and they're like, "How do you get that?" And I'm like, "I wait a while." But no, and we've lost a bunch of viewers because I'm being all political. But hacking's political, so F you guys. We everything's been hammered, but we like even if we move to a hackerspace, because we eventually want to spin off. And thank you, Kelly Howlett, for following us. I'll detail more of our stuff in a moment. But even if DEFCON 201 moves to a hackerspace, like we want to create a hackerspace in New Jersey, there's Jolly to do everything. By the way, he gets lockpicks in his turban. It's really great. We would still order food and have relations with Subculture because they were truly That's our meeting. But absolutely amazing, as they keep doing non-disclosure stuff. But, and there's a bunch of extras for this too that we're not going to get into. But yeah, we meet up there. Now, what they've been doing since last month is because outdoor dining's been open, they built an outside space, and they have 4 tables each, and they can fit a maximum of between 16 to 20 people. Their max is 20 people. So, if this happens again, basically the idea, and this is non-concrete, but like from 4:30 to like 7:50. There's Nick Farr. I love Nick Farr. He's a regular at Hope. He's a regular around Shine His Head. He does the Hackers on the Plane, which he was gonna, I think, do again this year if Hope and DEFCON are too close, which was a whole thing where you could go to, I think, Hope and then European Summer Camp, and then later on it was like you went to Hope and then got on a plane and went straight to DEFCON. But, and also a neat thing is he goes to Burning Man every year and he runs the postal village there, because you have to build the stage from scratch. He runs the entire postal village. It's really cool guy. And also every year at Hope, physically, he gets injured somehow. To the point where we literally have a Cards Against Humanity card that reads, "This year, Nick Farr fell off of blank and landed into blank." It's that level of scrupulousness. But if we do meet in person this year, basically again from like 4:35 to like 7:50, you'd be able to show up. There's Jason Scott. You'd be able to show up in person, and you have to social distance. You have to wear a mask unless you are eating. Like as soon as you're not, you put the mask back on. If you show up and you don't have a mask, we have disposable masks to give you, and we have hand sanitizer and wipes and social distancing. I'll bring out lockpicks. Everything's sanitized. We're following all the rules because we are responsible people. We're very responsible, irresponsible people here at DEFCON 201. And then the idea that we're going to do is myself or another person, we're going to actually base stream here. We're going to base stream right here. And I'll move myself over now that that's over. And we're going to, and actually I'll turn on the DEFCON safe mode stuff and go back to their website. But we will stream here, so even though the in-person will last between like 4:30 to 7 or 5 to 7, our meeting will go on like the virtual one online, and our speakers will be online regardless. We'll go on way after that. So we're probably looking more at start streaming at like 5 and ending to question marks, so probably like 10 or 11 p.m. And we'll have like proper virtual rooms and stuff now that we know Jitsi mostly works now. So yeah, that's what we'll be doing August 21st. If not, again, regardless, like even COVID's over, we can all go back to concerts and hacker conventions and orgies and stuff. I know that last bit, just a bit backstory behind that. Pool 2 Girl for the win. We should replicate that this year virtually. That's what we're going to try to do with our original after party idea. But we, regardless, until we die, and by the way, one of the things we're proud of is 3 times there's been a New Jersey group. There's been a DEFCON 201 in different places in New Jersey. The last one was in Passaic, which is like, oh, of course that group only lasted 8 months. Who goes to Passaic? Like, we're from North Jersey, and we don't even want to go to Passaic. That was a weird smell. Hopefully that wasn't me. So, so that was the longest, by the way. The last DC 201 group back in like 2012, I think it was, lasted like 8 months. That's actually why our Twitter is DEFCON. There we go. That's why our Twitter is DEFCON 201NJ, because if you go to DEFCON 201 on Twitter, that's the original group. Their founders moved to Georgia, and we haven't heard. They fell off the face of the earth. We haven't heard back from them ever since. Let me raise up my volume slightly here. There we go. So yeah, that was the longest they lasted, was 8 months, and we're very proud that in last March, so literally right when COVID literally shut this crap down, was 3 years. And in fact, that March was supposed to be our 3-year anniversary, and instead I think ours was called CComp, which is basically a fancy way of saying we've gone into Linux safe mode or quarantine mode, and we just jumped to 23 years for no reason. And so we were, I should bring this up. Let's actually go to our website, click news, and we're gonna turn back time. Remember the time. We're gonna go back, and again, we've been doing guides for all these cons. So we made one for Hope, RightsCon, Black Hat USA, which is second day, is gonna happen later on. Ring Zero is going on for the next 2 weeks, which is its own online training course. If you're an immediate hacker and you want to go to advanced hacker, and you can spend, I think all the classes are already booked up, but if you're willing to spend like $2,000, $4,000, that's that. We're gonna do. I'm actually gonna click on the Hacker Summer Camp one. Unfortunately, I probably should have clicked RightsCon, because this is going to probably take one of the longest to loads outside of the DEFCON safe mode. That said Black Hat USA and DEFCON. But tonight, before I would say noon tomorrow, the DEFCON safe mode guide is going to go up. It's going to have everything on the DEFCON safe mode website with pictures and links. And it's also going to have a bunch of stuff that you would have to scour Twitter and the rest of the internet for. And it's going to be in this format. We're going to list the dates, the website, the platforms they're using. DEFCON's going to be using Discord. That's so you join the official DEFCON Discord. We have a link to the schedule, the live streams, which is going to be Discord itself, and also the YouTube that they put up. Their chat system, which is Discord, the accessibility, which is free. If it's not free, what can't you access, can access. If there's tickets, which there won't be for DEFCON safe mode, where it's going to be in their code of conduct, and it has all these details. And we're going to break everything down. We're going to have a pick of our talks that you should probably go out and absolutely see with the YouTube links for them. And we're going to again have all the party details, event, like just everything is going to be on there. But if we go back in time, and this is talking about Black Lives Matter and stuff. Back to March, somewhere around here. Ours was called SecComp, and I name all the events, by the way. So if you don't know what CComp or SecComp is, it's basically a boot mode that you do in Linux that self-containerizes itself. It's basically the Linux version of Windows safe mode. It's our fancy way of saying safe mode. So this is the first time we live stream, and we had all these streams set up. The way we do it is we have a restream that goes out to Twitch, DLive, and YouTube at the same time. And what's really cool, which we didn't have set up, there's actually an Invidious. I'll show it in a bit. There's actually an Invidious instance on Tor. So if you have Tor and you go to the Onion Invidious instance, you can actually watch YouTube through Tor, through the Tor network, and also because of the way Invidious mirrors YouTube, there's no ads, so you can actually watch this live stream through YouTube via Invidious on Tor. We actually have a Onion landing page, so you can check that out. But yeah, we did this here. We had Thomas Landon, which we still have to upload his talk, where he talked about there's an open COVID-19 initiative, and then G.I. Jacker, co-founder, talked about the Ponagachi that we made for PAX East, and then I did my talk about browser security. And then we usually have some remote like stuff like online video games and stuff that we play with everyone. So that was our first live stream. And then and also, by the way, with that, just to note, it's all the way back in March, and we actually have to do a couple more updates to this. But we actually made a guide. It's one of our most popular posts about if you're a hacker, all the stuff you can do at home. A lot of it for free in order to help combat the COVID-19 pandemic. So one of the big things you could do is run folding at home. You probably have heard of the Rootstown team folding at home. We have our own team, which is team number 241960. Unfortunately, we couldn't get 201 as numbers. And we're ranking here. We're about to break the 500 out of 250,000 groups. So we're pretty up there, especially with all the other groups. And as you can see, Jeff Moss himself, aka Dark Tantra, is number 3 with providing stuff. I've dropped off the face of the earth somewhere down there. Neo's still pumping his entire building for it. Roots Folds is contributing and doing their BS advertising. But yeah, Roots Folds at 2588829 is their team. So I think that's hilarious. They're trying to do some invasive. There's G.I. Jacker co-founder, and I'm somewhere at the bottom. I want to eventually set up this high-power computer I'm on to go back into mining for this. But yeah, what this does is it does protein folding. It uses your extra CPU and GPU calculations in order to do the protein folding for the virus, which they've actually made huge breakthroughs. It's one of the reasons why we're going to have a vaccine soon. So definitely run that. You can run it on Windows, Mac, and Linux. You can make it so that when your computer is in like is in sleep mode or in screensaver mode, it can use tasks, but you can run it in Windows, Mac, Linux. Linux is a little finagling, but you can get it. And there's also a free BSD packaged version for it. If you also want to run its sister Rosetta at home, you can actually connect it, which we did on episode of Crypto Barons, to a Gridcoin wallet where not only are you doing protein folding, but you earn X amount of Gridcoin as you fold. So that's actually money coming back to you. Also in cryptocurrency, you can donate to our which I have to update, our Donate to Life charity campaign with Pinkcoin, where you can stake Pinkcoin with us now. Again, I have to do some updates. That's why it's dropping off. But we're actually one of the most popular, if not the most popular, campaign on here. Again, we dropped down in, I think, votes recently just because I've been busy. But yeah, we are very popular. And the idea is that either this Saturday or the second episode in August for Crypto Barons, because I keep delaying it due to issues with doing cryptocurrency exchanges, we're going to pull out that money and donate it to the World Health Organization's COVID-19 Solidarity Response Fund, which not only helps out medics and frontline people, but also helps like teachers and towns and cities and stuff worldwide, getting like lunches for kids and stuff, and all the poverty that's happening in this pandemic. You can also play this cool game called Fold It, which actually you basically solve protein folding models for COVID-19, and they actually use the basis of how you fold in the game. Basically, you're solving puzzles by doing protein folding. It uses that basis for folding at home and Rosetta at home to do the protein foldings automatically. It's also like our speaker, which we showed in March. There's biohackers are getting together trying to solve the pandemic. Johnny Xmas just did a talk at Hope about 3D printing PPE. And so we have a whole section of how you can print out PPE and sew masks and ventilator pieces, the GNU Health Embedded Systems, and other things. And we link to Hackers for Hospitals for that. You can actually run Rosetta at home and folding at home at the same time if you have like a Raspberry Pi or a Docker. We have a Docker for Libre ELEC, so you can just run that. And you can also update GNU Health Systems. There was a COVID hackathon months ago that we participated in. You can print out information hanging around town. There's also, here's our actual guides directly from the CDC, Jersey City itself, New Jersey government, the mental health organization about COVID-19. There's an awesome program on Instagram called Stay and Play In, which BSI Lab, one of our 10 past not members. I mean, she technically is a member, but she's an alumni because she showed up showed up first to a bunch of our meetings like a year or two ago. Before she became a worldwide sensation. Basically, Pinky and the Brain rolled into one. You can edit Wikipedia about the pandemic. It's just a bunch of resources, including anti-phishing scams, combating disinformation, and there's a crap ton on GitHub here about all these different open source programs that are being used by hospitals and research centers worldwide for COVID that haven't been updated in months or years that need help. So that's something that we kind of did. But yeah. that's basically our special stream. So we are definitely past midnight. It's about to be 1 a.m. If anyone has any questions, we're going to be on for like a minute or two, but I'm just going to basically do our swan song here. And actually, before we do anything, let's go. I'm actually going to. Oh, we just got to follow. Thank you, Tux4DC, Tux for DEFCON, I guess you're called, for following us. Because I'm about to actually do the ending spiel, and while I'm doing that, I'm actually going to go to our stream manager on Twitch and figure out who's up right now for not Twitter, Twitch. No, thank you, browser. That we can potentially raid, because we always raid something or someone on Twitch TV. For all of you at home, by the way, who are on DLive, please send us lemons. Every Crypto Barons, and the next Crypto Barons is going to be this Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be a special DEFCON edition. Every Crypto Barons, we always, if we have lemons, we redistribute them. Lemons is like the bit sort of, it's like if you've seen bits on Twitch, it's the same type of payment system. Technically, DLive came out with it first, so definitely send us lemons. And we're going to probably, let's see, so Woke is still on. Is there any of our coding friends on? Because I saw some people earlier. Let's see, our Chicken Life, Lux, Sarah Spooks, Twit, which is always on. Circuit Stream Live. Shiloh's on. Yeah, unfortunately, Vi Gray was on earlier, but I think he's... Oh, no, he's on. We're going to raid him. He only has one viewer. You should totally check out Vi Gray. This is Vi... Actually, I'm going to turn back on the DEFCON safe mode viewer. Yeah, so this is what I'm seeing here. So yeah, normally we raid Woke because, and you should go there. It's at Twitch TV/Woke. It shows all the updates on all the protests going on. We're probably going to rehost that stream tonight, but I want everyone to check out Vi Gray. Vi is absolutely amazing. His first hacker thing was our group at DEFCON. Oh, why is there an ad? DEFCON 201. I need to put an ad blocker on this eventually. DEFCON 201 was his first ever thing. He comes from Michigan. He's on a break right now, but Minnesota. Oh, cool. We'll be back in 2 minutes. I'll fill up like 2 minutes, and then we'll raid his stream. But he was our first ever hacker thing. He went go to outside of a small town outside of Minnesota, and he has some amazing tech stuff. Right now, he works in a lot of retro game things. He's making a lot of retro games, do things they don't do. Vi also had a great talk about hacking the NES at the Circle of Hope 2 years ago. And he's just tuckered out on conventions. So all he's been doing is live streaming all of his crazy retro hacks. He also managed to get Discord working on the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System. He's just a true genius. He also figured out how to circumvent most 2A, two-factor, using USB systems, using hardware hacks. I guess it's going to continue on. It's just really freaking amazing. So if you're on Twitch, we're gonna raid his stream, so check that out. Unfortunately, I don't have anywhere to send you on DLive or YouTube. All I can say is basically, we're gonna go back to here. Thank you for following us on here for DEFCON 201. Stay tuned if you're on Twitch. We're gonna send you over to Vi Gray. I promise you it's worth it, especially if you're on the East Coast and you're a night owl staying up early in the morning. You want something to play in the background and a cool person to chat to about code, especially retro gaming code. He's gonna be amazing. But we're gonna raid his stream. Thank you so much for, actually I'm going to make myself huge like I like to do sexually. And as soon as I do that, thank you, Heliox, for following us. Like, I bet what's going to happen is, this always happens, I try to leave, and that's when everyone tries to follow us and ask questions on our chat. And I'm just like, because it's like, because, it's like, we're just ending. It's the same thing on Instagram. It's like, we're just ending. Why is everyone out here? So, but thank you guys for watching the stream. I know that normally this is when Hack All and Commander happen, but we've been speaking to N Commander, and he wants to do weekly Hack All and Commanders in September, but at least for now, and honestly, I think this should be a permanent thing for him, he's going to do every other week. So he's taking a break. G.I. Jack, our co-founder, is going to take over Archvile Linux Perspective. I'm going to have Crypto Barons on Saturday. And by the way, Archvile Linux Perspective is at 7 p.m. My show's at 8 p.m. And then next week, he will be on Hack Off and Commander. And he's already shown me previews of what he wants to do, and that's going to be a true doozy here. So we decided to do this stream instead because tomorrow is DEF CON Safe Mode. I mean, technically it's tonight. They almost released like half the con tonight. But in addition to that, there's so many villages you can check out on the DEF CON group Discord. Again, if you go to defcon.org, you'll find information. If you go to DEF CON 201 and click news, before 5 a.m. I think tonight, our guide will be up, so you'll find all the information and links there. We would do that as a courtesy to the computer hacker community, making these guides, because we made guides for the physical Hacker Summer Camp 2 years ago, and now we're doing one for Ultimate Summer Camp because there's so much digital stuff going on. We even missed 2 conferences. We snuck in a conference and then we completely missed a conference. That's how much hacker stuff's going on this month. It's absolutely insane. We thought Hacker Summer Camp would be Hope, Hope, B-Sides Las Vegas, Black Hat USA, and then Diana Initiative, DEFCON 28. And instead, it became a month. Hope went out for 9 days. DEFCON's going to be insane. Diana Initiative is next week. There's another thing next week. It's just nuts. And our meeting's next week on Friday, August 21st. So stay tuned to shortly after DEFCON Safe Mode to then. Well, anyhow, we're going to raid VE or Vigray. I hope you like his channel on Twitch. Again, if you like our content, you can hit that bell, click like, share, subscribe, whether you're on YouTube, Twitch TV, or DLive. If you're on DLive, definitely send us lemons. If you're on Twitch, we can follow, comment. I'm also trying to get it so that when people follow us on YouTube and DLive and stuff, the alerts come up, but I'm still working on that. Maybe we'll have it ready by tomorrow. I don't know. But anyhow, thank you for being on this stream here. I'm going to preliminary set up the raid here. So I'm going to do raid. There we go. So this is the preliminary. Thank you so much for watching the stream. I will see you. We will announce what times we're streaming tomorrow throughout the weekend, because it's going to be tricky. Because again, which definitely you should do, check out the DEF CON groups. It will be, our village will be in the main DEF CON Discord, if I remember correctly. And you can also join us on Allspace VR. You can run it on Windows or through Proton via the native Steam client on Linux. Unfortunately, there's no Mac version. And you'll be able to hang out with us. So we're going to be doing that, and then at certain points we're going to be streaming parts of DEF CON, just kind of like what we did streaming parts of Hope. So we'll have both the DEF CON 2.1 Safe Mode Guide. There are stream times on our social media and stuff. You can follow us on Instagram at defcon201.org. Our Mastodon is defcon201 at hostducks.social. You can follow our Twitter at defcon201nj and a bunch of others. It's all on our website, mainly at defcon201.org. And if you want to reach out to us, you can either go to our website and click on the email link, or our email is info@defcon201. Anyhow, I'm going to finish that DEFCON 2.1 Safe Mode Guide. I can't wait to see all of you tomorrow. I'm going to be chilling out in the DEF CON Discord. I'm going to be at the group Discord. I'm going to be on so many different Discords. I'm going to be help manning. We're going to do a soft launch of DEF CON groups village tomorrow, where I'm going to be all hands on deck Friday and Saturday. And Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night, I'm going to be here at certain times, which we'll announce tomorrow, doing live streams like this, but about DEF CON Safe Mode. So I hope you enjoyed it. This has been SidePocket. I'm one of the co-founders of DEF CON 2.1. Again, you can reach us at defcon201.org. Dirty Jersey represent Hack the Planet, and DEF CON is canceled, but somehow still going. I'll see you guys around, and I'll also see you at our meeting next week on August 21st. Peace. Let's see if I get the music going.